Hello, hello, hello. I think we're live. This is Greg Schaefer. I'm coming to you from Chicagoland Games. Nope, not Chicagoland Games. MTG Card Market in Chicago. We're going to be bringing you 4 rounds of Legacy tonight. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Nick Hess, who is new to streaming, but has a lot to say about Legacy and also commentary, I think. So I think this should be a good stream. Mark is swamped with work currently, so he's not going to be with us tonight, but he might be hovering in the chat occasionally. And some things to call out tonight is that later in the cast, probably in round 3 or 4, we will be giving away a DCI promo copy of Entomb, courtesy of MTG Card Market. So if you guys like giveaways, also look for Card Market, because they're good guys.
Great. Wonderful.
We're going to bop down to the match right away.
So we have Kyle Norman on Esper Worldgorger Dragon combo.
Oh, God.
Versus Chuck Harris on his personal defective Jeskai brew that he's been working on for close to a month now.
Oh, jeez. This was a good pick.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of this.
I'm a fan of these interesting combo decks here.
What do you want to call Kyle's deck?
He wants it to be Esper Worldgorger combo.
Okay.
He wanted to make it clear that Esper was in there.
Right.
Because I believe the traditional deck plays red, but Kyle has opted to, instead of playing... What is it? The normal one is Desolate Lighthouse, which lets you loot.
Yeah, he's playing.
Instead of that, he's playing Nephilia Drownyard.
Yeah.
So that he can at instant speed mute. He can instant speed mill.
Right.
Mill out his opponents, and
cool.
or himself, depending on whether he needs to fuel his dig through times.
If they're an Emrakul deck, I guess you target yourself and go for a wish. Like
well, if he's playing Snapcaster Mage, so he can mill until he hits his I think he's playing the Blue Wish.
Okay, yeah.
That he could snap back with, because Worldgorger lets him make infinite mana.
Yeah, he's playing Cutting Wish.
He can also clear Brainstorms with Drownyard, and he decided that was more worth it than playing the Desolate Lighthouse would be.
Right. Yeah, there's got to be some benefits to both.
He wants it to be Defiant Jeskai.
Defiant. Okay.
Because Defective Jeskai. Sorry, Defective Jeskai.
Oh, okay.
Because he's playing the Humble Defector, which is the most. I believe it was in the most recent set.
Yeah.
And it says you can tap it to draw 2 cards, and then you give the card, but then you have to exchange control of the creature itself, which is the Defector part.
Yep.
But he's also playing, I believe it's Homeward Path.
Yep.
Which was a commander set card that says you gain control of all cards that you own.
Why not?
So
it's gonna come up once in a blue moon, presumably.
He also gets to, he gets to tap it, draw with the trigger still on the stack, play a spell, untap it with his Ascendancy, tap it again,
right.
Draw 4 cards, give it to his opponent, tap that 1 land, and then gain control of his.
Why not?
Yeah.
It sounds great.
There are a bunch of interesting things the deck can do.
Dev Clock coming over to us in the chat. I was screwing up the overlay when we were initially inputting that. So they are not both playing Worldgorger. It is Jeskai combo versus Worldgorger.
And they're both taking mulligans, it looks like.
Yeah, well, that's what combo decks do, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
So Chuck is actually playing a more fair combo deck. Kyle is all in on comboing with Worldgorger, trying to Drownyard or... I don't think he's playing Blue Sun. I think he's playing the other...
Yeah, he's playing Stroke of Genius.
Stroke of Genius.
Yeah, that's the way
so
you
Kyle's all in on making you either draw your deck or milling you out.
Yeah.
Whereas Chuck can play a beatdown game. Actually, he needs to play, technically, a beatdown game. He uses the Fate Stitchers and then pumps them really large with his Ascendancy.
Although he's also playing Young Pyromancer, whereas a lot of versions ignore that sort of added token generation, right?
Yeah. So Chuck is playing a spells beatdown kind of list, whereas Kyle is all in on his combo.
Right. So we can pull up some of these combos. Kyle's deck is, of course, based around Worldgorger Dragon, the recent unbanning. It's yet to make a real stir in Legacy, but...
It's a true classic. Many are claiming that Gristlebrain being reanimated is strictly better, but...
I don't think it's strictly better, but
Gristlebrain doesn't have a cool combo like this,
right.
so...
I can't imagine it's strictly better, but it's probably one or the other is better in a meta game and like in context.
So fetch lands hit the board for both players.
Chuck going for presumably just a duel, no reason to fetch a
Volcanic
basic.
Island.
I think both players know basically 100% positive what the other person's playing because both of them have been on these decks.
I know that Chuck usually he loves to go for basic lands, but
right.
He also knows that Kyle is playing a 20-land combo deck, so he doesn't have room for basics in his deck.
Right. I think Chuck might have also seen Kyle sleeving up his deck for tonight, so, you know.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle's been playing the same things for a couple of weeks, so these guys are friends. They have figured it out by now.
No reason to play around waste. All right, just a land pass.
Yep.
Players looking at each other. Chuck probably trying to represent some amount of disruption here. I think I did see a Swords to Plowshares in Chuck's hand too, which seems really, really good in this matchup.
Third land for Chuck. 2 mana. Here comes a Pyromancer.
That also seems great.
That's exactly where Chuck wants to start.
Yeah, he can kind of turn into the fish deck here. Like Kyle has to combo to win. Chuck doesn't actually have to combo.
Chuck does not have to combo. Chuck actually doesn't have any infinite combos in his deck, I don't think.
Yeah, nothing. I mean,
so
yeah, Ascendancy typically doesn't need to go infinite, right? It just needs to go
needs to make him big enough to deal 20
yeah,
damage.
Do enough in a turn.
Whereas if Kyle, let's see, what pieces does Kyle have in his hand? He has a Brainstorm and a Swords to Plowshares that he's holding at the front. He seems to have an Entomb.
He probably has to plow this Pyromancer this turn.
Another Swords, a Drownyard, and a Ponder.
I think
so he's looking to clear some pieces.
You don't. So
clear
he's maybe putting back
swords.
The second Swords. Yeah, keeping both is probably not worth it.
The other thing that's interesting about Kyle's deck is that even though he is an infinite combo, his combo can be disrupted by creature hate. Swords to Plowshares or Abrupt Decay on his either Animate Dead or Necromancy.
Or Necromancy. Let's pull up Necromancy. I always say it wrong.
I think it is correct to say it either way.
I'm pretty sure Necromancy sounds way better. But yeah, this, or Animate Dead, is going to be one of the effects that Kyle is trying to end the game with. He's also only playing 2 Worldgorgers, so if you can Swords them both, game over.
Well, not exactly. See, he's playing the Cunning Wish sideboard, so he gets to wish for instants or sorceries.
Okay.
He can find his one of Pull from Eternity that he has in his sideboard to put any, like if you surgical or extirpate his Worldgorger dragons, he can then pull from Eternity to move it from his exile zone back into his graveyard.
Absurd.
It's Tin Fins tech from the
Why does this card exist?
Turn 1 combo deck Tin Fins that Kyle and I love to bust out occasionally.
That is absurd. I did not know that was a card.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Target face-up card that's removed from the game into its owner's graveyard. What is... I guess some cards are
exiled face down. Yep.
That's bizarre.
It's wonderful.
Do all cards that exile like I guess
Chuck's gonna pay life for this probe.
Okay. Yeah, life total is not too relevant here.
Yeah. If Kyle's going off, he's going off in infinite.
Right.
So
Kyle's hand seems pretty good.
Yep. It looks like he has Force Blue card, Drownyard.
He's got the combo.
Yeah, so all he has to do
has
is
everything.
Unless Chuck has Disruption here, in more than just Swords to Plowshares, Kyle will be able to fetch
he needs
Underground Sea with his Tarn.
Yeah.
Entomb, untap.
Necromancy with Force back.
Play the... Well, it's Animate Dead. Play the Drownyard, and then... Animate Dead with Force back.
He has a full combo.
So Chuck needs to find more than just the Swords to Plowshares here.
Yeah.
I do not see a Force of Will.
Disruption.
Do not see one.
He might not have all 4 forces in the main deck. He might.
See, so he's going to put back Homeward Path and Humble Defector as well.
Homeward Path not that great in this matchup.
No, it looks like Chuck's going to need to bring in more counter magic from the board. He's putting back Ascendancy and Homeward Path.
Okay. Yeah, he's not going to get a great time to tap out anytime
soon.
So
it does not look like he has... If Kyle chooses to go for it here, and it seems that he might, he's cracking a fetch. Down to 19. This might be the explosive turn.
Yeah. I think his hand is good enough that he just probably should just go for it.
Underground Sea. Oop. Okay, so they're going to shortcut a little bit, and Kyle's going to probably announce he's finding Sea.
Oh.
He cast Entomb, found Dragon.
Hey, Josh Boy in the comments, where does it say modern? Does it say it on the title of the stream? I thought I changed that. If not, Mark's gonna beat me.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, Kyle untaps, draws his card for turn. It's another Entomb. He should play Drownyard first here.
Error updating broadcast. Well, hopefully.
Drownyard hits play. He does have force backup, so will he pull the trigger, or does he believe that Chuck has too much disruption? I don't know how much he has to lose for going for... Oh, he just passes the turn. All right. So we knew that Chuck would draw his Homeward Path. And he puts his Humble Defector into play.
Okay.
Probably plays the path. Nope, just chooses to pass the turn for whatever reason. Snapcaster Mage. Targeting Brainstorm.
Right.
So Kyle no longer has blue card for Force of Will.
Yeah,
he has to hit one off of this.
So he was scared to go for it there,
Yep,
I guess?
he must have assumed Chuck had too much disruption. So now he has a Plunder, so he can at least keep blue card.
Yeah, I guess if he's under no pressure, there's not much incentive to just go
He's
for
going to put back Fetch Land, Underground Sea, so he'll draw the Fetch Land. Oop, that Brainstorm is exiled, not back in the yard.
They'll probably figure that out in a moment.
Yeah.
Or you want to pop out there and tell him?
Sure, I'll give him a heads up on that.
Easy fix.
Yep. No harm done.
Yeah. Kyle going for a Ponder now. Joshy Boy, that is a foil Snapcaster, and it's also in French, in fact. Kyle, I believe, has 3 foil French Snapcasters. He's looking for a 4th, so if you know anyone with a foil French Snapcaster, just let us know. Thanks, Nick. They fixed it. Huh. Yeah, very fancy dev clock. Kyle's cards are quite fancy. He doesn't have black border dual lands, though, so it's really all for naught.
Is that the standard by which we measure?
Yep.
His foil French Snapcaster mages are not enough to impress Gregorus Schaefer here?
Yeah, well, you know, my legacy deck is completely black border, but since I don't have any black border dual lands, that I'm forced to play 9 basic planes. So.
Actually, are you still playing Enlightened Tutor in the sideboard?
Yes, it's black border.
Okay.
Come on.
You had a white border one for a while.
I don't know if I did. Maybe 2 seconds.
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
Then you decided that was a terrible idea and found a Mirage one.
It's a pretty bad idea. All right, Kyle has a lot of mana.
He has it looks like he has Cunning Wish in his hand.
Still has the same. Oh, so he has Wish now too, but like it's
what he's doing right
still
now.
All
It seems to me that he's not going for it fast enough.
He has the combo plus force backup. Like that's what he has. It's not going to change really.
But he's just giving Chuck more time to find protection. I'm not sure why he didn't go for it a couple of turns ago.
Yeah,
to just test the waters.
He couldn't beat Swords to Plowshares and then Force of Will backup, you know, which is a problem.
This is Cunning Wish.
Plays
Cunning
Wish.
See, this should be a tip-off. This should be where he knows that Chuck doesn't have the protection that he needs. Because there's no way you let Cunning Wish resolve.
So he's going for swords.
It looks like Kyle's trying to play a fair game,
Yeah,
which doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Well, so if he swords... Oh, yeah, because it can only be activated as a sorcery, right?
I think it just had Summoning Sickness.
Oh, fair enough.
So it couldn't be activated at all.
Pull up Humble Defector.
Yeah, I believe that it can be activated at instant speed.
Activate this ability only during your turn.
Oh, okay. So it can
I was wrong. Instant speed, but...
On your turn,
yeah.
Okay.
Looks like Kyle attacked for 2 there. Players playing some draw go here. They're getting ready for a fight, potentially. Kyle getting in for another 2.
The simple thing is that if Kyle just decides to pull the trigger here, as long as he has this Force of Will, the game ends.
Yeah.
He mills Chuck out.
Yeah, I mean, he needs...
It was also interesting that he chose to just burn the Wish.
He doesn't have blue card as a backup, but he's close to being able to combo and also have Hardcast Force up.
Yeah. It's interesting that he's decided to play such a late game.
Yeah, I think that's sort of the idea behind being this Esper deck instead of just
the
Reanimator, normal Reanimator. One. Even just normal Reanimator, though.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, normal Reanimator is definitely faster.
I wonder, though, if Kyle actually is able to really win a game with just Snapcaster beats. It
I
doesn't
doubt it.
really seem like it, unless it's just
Draw for turn.
an
What's
atrocious
Chuck have
draw
there?
from the other deck.
Is that opt?
That's an Ascendancy.
Oh, he got Ascendancy into play.
This is
Kyle's gonna
hard kick.
it's so interesting that he's playing such a fair game. Like he's forcing the Ascendancy when Ascendancy shouldn't actually matter. Kyle should be able to just go for the combo.
Right, I think he's valuing Chuck's combo higher than his own.
Here's an Entomb. But Chuck hasn't put any of the pieces that he needs.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know. It's interesting. I'm curious as to the line that he's playing towards here.
Well, he's down on cards compared to Chuck. He does have something of a clock, but it's not really a clock.
Entomb's a Snapcaster.
He has 2 reanimation spells in his hand, so he might... It seems like he's just going to bring back Snap and maybe Ponder off of it.
Interesting.
Or he can, like... Yeah, it's probably... You can't change the order, Chuck.
Yeah, he knows. He just moved them so they're the visible ones.
Okay.
He wants to be able to keep in mind what's in the yard.
Just lay
but
it out.
Chuck is in fact a judge, so he is not about to... There we go. Kyle found a piece of hand disruption, so now he'll see...
2 swords.
We got 2 swords to plowshares.
But the problem is Chuck only has 1 white mana up.
But does Kyle burned his
does,
force of will, so it doesn't
have
actually matter anymore.
So I think Kyle's taking 1 of them.
He took 1 of the swords to plowshares.
But yeah, now he's... What is that card?
I think it's opt.
Is it? Does anyone know what that blue card is?
I think it's like...
I don't know if it's opt. I think it's something else.
Oh, no, it's the madness spell. If you discard it, you can cast it for blue, draw a card.
What?
Because if he discards it with Jeskai Ascendancy, then he can get...
That's awesome.
I believe that's what it is. I can't remember the name.
That's pretty funny. So I think he's bringing back Snapcaster.
Yep.
Is he gonna?
All right.
get
So
Thoughtseize?
that is a 1/1 Snapcaster mage.
Is he bringing back Thoughtseize?
I don't know.
I mean, that's.
Thoughtseize would make the most sense, but he tapped his mana poorly so that he couldn't. Okay, he's gonna ponder instead. Yep.
Well,
if he had tapped his mana so that he could.
Yeah, I don't think he
has.
Use
the Drownyard instead of the blue source. No, that doesn't make any sense. Interesting.
I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. If he had tapped the... Nope. There's no way he could do it. He needs another black source.
Perfect.
Okay, well, he drew a land. So he plays another land. Interesting. There we go. Yep. Chuck casts his card. 1 blue, draw a card. Is that another Ascendancy that I see go to the grip? Nope, it's a Humble Defector.
Yeah.
Humble Defector, Gataxian Probe, 2 Fate Stitchers, and a Swords to Plowshares.
Pretty good hand if he actually can
pays
get
2 life,
Ascendancy.
sees the enemy, dead. Draw a card. It's a Scalding Tarn.
Right.
Straight into play.
So he paid 2 life there, right?
Mm-hmm.
The beats are real.
Yeah, he is. Kyle currently has 3 power on the board.
Yeah. Is he not going for it?
For 3.
Crazy. Oh, that's the wrong life total.
Down
Shut
to
down
10?
to 10, I believe. 3 turn clock. Well, he can also block with the Defector anytime he wants.
Correct. Which would leave Kyle with a 1/1. Oh, Swords to Plowshares. Let's undo some of that damage. Check goes back up to 12, and that's actually exiled. It's not in his graveyard.
It's relevant.
Yep.
They should fix that.
Yep.
You want me to run and do that?
I got it.
Okay.
Chuck
Alright.
with the Hardcast Fate Stitcher.
Yeah, well, it blocks down the animate-dented Snapcaster, yeah. Hey, everyone in the chat, I fixed it. I fixed the title. It should say Legacy now, so everyone stop giving me grief. Sorry for being technologically illiterate, though. It's pretty shameful. So it looks like Kyle has brainstormed into a Force of Will to maybe be able to back up his combo. So, like, if he can get enough mana, if he can get 7 mana, which would probably be next turn, he can animate Dead with Force backup. But it looks like he has Necromancies floating, also a worthless Entomb, or I guess redundant at this point. Brainstorm resolves. He's left with Necromancy plus Force of Will in hand. Kyle attacking for 2. Dropping Nick down to 10, or
Chuck.
Chuck down to 10. Nick is sitting next to me.
Dropping Nick down into the chair next to Greg.
Yeah. Ooh, double Fate Stitcher.
So actually, I guess the other thing that the Fate Stitcher, now that it's not summoning sick, can do is just tap down the Snapcaster Mage before Kyle attacks.
Yeah, it's just your normal run-of-the-mill limited all-star tapper.
Yep. Usually in white, but this one was printed in blue.
Yeah, at 4 mana because 2 mana and tappers are too good.
Yeah, but it has Unearth, so that's
right.
fair, right? No one expected that card
It's
to.
like Kyle fetching end of turn to clear his Brainstorm from the previous turn. He has enough mana here where his hand is Animate Dead plus Forcible, so he can go for the combo if he wants to.
Yep.
Actually, sorry, it's Necromancy, so he does not have it. Sorry, he had to draw a blue card there. Not a line.
It's very interesting. Also, do we
looks
know
like-
how many fetches Kyle has used this game?
He's used a lot. He's done basically all this damage to himself, I believe.
Because he has 7 lands in play, which might be all of his mana producers. Maybe he's
Right.
got another Drown Yard or something. Oh, I believe he plays 3 Drown Yards.
Okay.
If I remember what he was saying on the way
lot of
over
Drown
here
Yards.
on the train.
3 Drown Yards brings me back to standard blue-black control.
Ugh.
I think those decks played the full 4,
They
though.
played the full 4. Considering it was the only win condition in the deck,
Yeah.
he played 4.
You get to 8 mana, you do it twice a turn. All right, leading with
Thoughts?
Thoughtseize. Find out if the coast is clear. Chuck's going to
He's
look
gonna
for
dig
2.
through time.
He wants 2 pieces of interaction here.
2, 3. What's he gonna leave in the yard? 4, 5, and 6. I
Does
don't know if
leaving
Chuck plays.
Ascendancy matter?
I don't think so. I also don't think that Chuck plays,
And looks like they got countered.
and he's gonna concede
Why?
the game.
Didn't he have Swords to Plowshares in hand?
The Thoughtseize would take it.
Oh, right. Okay.
So there you go. Kyle could have gone for it earlier. Decided to play a long game, and it wound up paying off for him.
Yeah.
So-
I mean, Chuck just drew too many lands. But that happens.
It happens. Even with Brainstorms in your deck, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like.
You have played Delver before. You've cast the card Brainstorm.
Yeah, I suppose. It's alright. Alright, so Kyle Norman up a game over Ascendancy.
Do you have any
combo.
idea what either of these players are going to be bringing in the sideboard?
So Kyle, being Esper, he doesn't have access to Pyroblast.
No, Kyle's also playing a Wish deck, so a lot of his cards want to
Yeah.
just live in the sideboard.
Yeah, you,
Like
can
you
probably
see, he's got,
barely
like,
can sideboard at
Pact
all.
of Negation, and okay, so I see Kyle flips an Engineered Explosives, which is good for all of Chuck's tokens.
It's okay. It's
I
not
mean,
that great.
If Pyromancer goes crazy, he gets to blow it on 0.
I suppose, but that seems like marginal.
It could keep him alive.
He could set it to 3, but
Take Ascendancy.
It's
Yeah,
going
that's-
to take a lot of mana. I don't know how realistic that really is.
And I assume Chuck's brought a bunch of Pyroblasts, and I'm not sure what else to the front. But I assume more counter magic out of Chuck, getting rid of some of the not as useful
Right.
fair deck matchup kind of cards.
Mm-hmm. Some people weighing in the chat about what a good-looking land is. Do you come down on the white border is cool side of things?
I do not. Personally, I am against that. I'm a huge fan of all full art cards.
Okay. Do you have a favorite full art island?
The Ireland is a tough choice.
Yeah.
I
There's a few good ones.
Yeah, overall, I choose to default to the John Avon Unhinged.
Okay. Like the original full art?
No, not the Unglued, the Unhinged.
Unhinged.
So it's the very full art.
Okay. It's all really blue?
Yes.
Okay.
But,
That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, whereas the Unglued has the big, thick brown borders on the sides.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But the ones that I actually own are the Zendikar Soup Bowl
The bucket
foil.
lands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are...
They're pretty good.
I'm a big fan of those ones.
Yeah.
How about you? Your favorite islands?
For full art, I have the other Zendikar ones. They have like
The Twister?
Yeah, so it's a lot of color to it.
Yeah.
With my basic lands, I really like getting other colors onto the card. All right, so Chuck taking a mulligan, it looks like, being on the play, not the spot you want to be in.
Luckily, I mean, mulliganing is a choice that you get to make. It's an action within the game. So Chuck saw his 7 cards, realized that it wasn't where he wanted to be, whether it was too low on land count or not enough interaction, and decided now he gets to take a mulligan, is really the best way to look at that. So now he gets to look at 6 cards, and these 6 cards could potentially be significantly better than the 7 cards that he had before.
So you don't think that the original mulligan rule is better?
I do not. I have attempted to play with it before, and so often you get stuck with 1 basic land and 7 uncastable spells.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Oh, it's horrible.
That sounds like my
It's even worse
deck.
when you're playing it in rockin' Chromanticore, and then your only 1 land is a bounce land, and you just don't get to play the game.
Sounds real good.
Oh man.
So if anyone's not totally sure what we're talking about,
if anyone's even kind of not sure at all,
the original mulligan rule is what?
If you had 7 lands or 7 spells in your opening hand, you could
reveal
reveal it and then shuffle it in and draw 7 new ones.
Yeah, I think you get a fresh one.
But only if you had exactly 7 lands or exactly 7.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
So Chuck, I mean, these last couple of hands have not looked terrible.
Is he going to 4?
But I believe he's going to 4, which does not put him in a position to win.
Yeah.
He has to try and stay alive at best.
Yeah. I see a land. You keep.
He had lands in his last ones too.
Did he just pass?
No, he put a land into play. He
seems like Chuck might be tilting off a little bit
he
here.
is. He seems to be quite frustrated. And he's going to let Kyle take a look.
There's
take the
2 lands
spell.
left in hand.
So Kyle chooses to discard it, and then Chuck actually gets to cast it for its madness cost, which is pretty cool.
And I believe Kyle had to take that. There was no choice there.
One. Kyle's at 18, not Chuck.
Oh, crap. That's not what Thoughtseize does?
It would be even better than it already is.
That'd be great. They play
Chuck
that in Burn.
It's a young Pyromancer.
How good would that card be in Burn / every deck ever?
/ every deck ever. There'd be no reason not to play black, I think.
So Killer Kevin is asking in the chat about Humble Defector in Jeskai Ascendancy. I think the idea is you get the Defector into play, you put Ascendancy into play, you activate the Defector, and then with the ability on the stack...
Cast another spell to untap it with the Ascendancy trigger. Tap it again to draw 2 more cards.
Yeah, just keep going.
Later use your... Could be within the same turn before it untaps and your opponent gets a chance to use it. You use...
You like Swords to Plowshares it or something.
Or the Chuck is playing Homeward Path.
Oh, right.
Which lets him regain control of it
before
his opponent gets to use it.
Right. Pretty neat stuff. I think Chuck's at 19
it's a little tricksy.
Here. A little tricksy.
It's a clever way to draw a couple of extra cards.
Yeah. Something which Chuck definitely needs to do in this game. And if I were Kyle, I would just be pressing for combo as fast as possible.
Kyle has the dragon in his hand. He also has Snapcaster Mage, Cunning Wish, and I believe that's a Dig Through Time, but he's moving it around, so I can't quite see.
Oh, Killer Kevin, sorry. It's so the Defector is not in the Worldgorger deck.
It's in the Jeskai deck.
Yeah. I think the kill condition in Kyle's deck is either make infinite mana when you have Nephalia Drownyard in play and just mill them out, or make infinite mana and Cunning Wish for Stroke of Genius.
Yep. And then Stroke of Genius forces them to draw their deck.
Yeah. That's like if you don't have Drownyard, basically.
Meddling Mage comes down for Chuck.
You think that's naming...
I think it's
naming... I don't know what that is
naming,
actually.
I mean, I'm assuming it's going to eat Swords to Plowshares.
Right, so
Snapcaster Swords.
Sure.
If it does not, then... I mean, that probably means it's naming Swords to Plowshares.
It might be naming Swords, yeah.
If Chuck's only conceivable way to win is through the beatdown game plan on his Mold of 4 here.
Gibbous, what's up? How's it going? You missed Worldgorger. 1 game. Only 1 game.
Oop.
All right, this looks like a Cunning Wish,
Cunning Wish
end of turn.
And is he going to go for...
Maybe something to deal with the Meddling Mage?
Could be.
Or it could just be, yep.
So
it looks like...
It's interesting that he chose not to use the Snapcaster to snap Swords. He burned a Cunning Wish, which is one of his win conditions.
So I guess he's valuing Snapcaster higher than Cunning Wish.
It's very interesting.
Well, he has Drownyard in play, right?
Nope, he has Drownyard in his hand now.
Sorry. So he doesn't actually need Wish to win. You know?
Well, he drew it this turn. And he had not...
The Drownyard?
He just drew it.
Oh, then that's interesting.
Chuck Thoughtseize and it wasn't there.
Okay.
So...
Chuck gaining 2 life from that swords. And this looks like a snap Thoughtseize, and in response, a dig through time.
So that's why Kyle was saving this.
Kyle
was saving the Snapcaster. Chuck didn't have enough blue up to cast it.
Gotcha.
Fate Stitcher hits play.
Blocks.
Kyle has another Swords to Plowshares. So
he also has a dig through time though. Like Chuck is hellbent. Can he?
With the Worldgorger in his hand.
Oh yeah, that's pretty awkward.
It's pretty rough. He really would have wanted one of these Thoughtseizes to go at himself to get rid of the dragon.
If he can find a Brainstorm, he could leave Worldgorger on top and then Drownyard himself.
Yep, which is another reason why... that's a play that you could do with the Desolate Lighthouse without a Brainstorm.
Right.
If that were not Drownyard, it were Lighthouse, he could discard the dragon from it.
Yeah, I guess, so it's really like...
He also would not have
these
million Swords to Plowshares that he has been using to such advantage.
It seems like the biggest thing you gain with the white is Swords over Bolt. Right?
Sure.
Like, is it... I guess the question is it really that much better? Alright.
I mean, there are certainly creatures that are removed with...
This is a dig through time.
Those are all exiled.
Yep.
6 away.
So he's probably looking for combo pieces here, I imagine.
Explosives, Reanimate Dead, Reanimate Dead.
Looking for an Entomb.
Worldgorger. It's actually it's Animate Dead. Sorry, it's not Reanimate Dead. And a Thoughtseize.
He can Thoughtseize himself.
He can take Thoughtseize and Animate Dead, which looks like that's what he's grabbing. And he can cast next turn Thoughtseize himself, and then Animate Dead.
Right. Yeah. The chances that
dragon.
Yeah. The chances that Chuck found a card that disrupts.
He's going for it this turn.
Huh.
Thoughtseize targeting himself. Interesting.
I don't know if I would do it. I don't know if you need to do that on your own turn, just because...
Well, you do because of the sorcery, but it might be your next turn.
Right. Like, what if... I don't know. I guess...
Nope.
Yeah, that's the game.
And Chuck sees the writing on the wall, calls it quits there.
Alright. So we can bring this back to the booth here.
Would you like me to go find another match?
Yeah, we probably have enough time.
Should have plenty of time.
Yeah, you can just tell...
20 minutes left. Let me see
if anyone, hasn't gone, to game 3 or whatever. So yeah, we had 2 pretty cool decks there on camera. It's a shame that Chuck had a mulligan so much in game 2, and he kind of flooded out in game 1 as well. So 2 somewhat non-games there, but definitely some cool stuff going on. I know that Kyle's been really high on Worldgorger, and it looked pretty good there. Gibbous, could you tell the other hosts that yes, I can bribe them with waffles? Seems like a good bargaining chip, or good way to bribe someone. KCCO asks for a deck list. I presume you're asking about the Worldgorger deck list. It's possible that we can get Kyle on for a deck tech later tonight. Also, we usually try to get the people who have the coolest lists to post on our Facebook page after the night. So that's one way to get a couple good lists and have it all written out for you as well. So if you guys like the Worldgorger deck, be sure to tell us here in the chat, and we'll try to hound Kyle to get it posted on Facebook. Yep. I know he's been good about doing that in the past for us.
So headed to camera now is going to be Greg Pino on Maverick versus Jason Jaco on what he is calling 4-color value top.
Yeah, that's usually what he plays nowadays.
He's it seems that he's trying to jam Monastery Mentor, Ancestral Visions, Shardless Agents. He said that his big concern, all of the cards are powerful, his big concern is how far he can stretch the mana base.
Yeah.
Which I believe is the way that Jason likes to build his decks.
Alright, I'm going to bring it down to the match right now.
Let's see which side people are on. Looks like Greg Pino is on the...
Yeah, you can always tell from the forearms.
Yep.
And you said he's on Maverick?
He's on Maverick.
Old trusty.
Yep, his old faithful. He once told me that he likes to play Maverick when he's worked all day, because even when he's tired, he's able to think through the lines of Maverick since he's played it so long.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Death and Taxes, but I'm a worse player than him, so I still screw it up a fair amount of the time.
Oh, you're just more tired. You're just more tired.
Oh, right, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Little tired boy me.
So this is going into game 3. I'm not sure.
What did you call it again? 4-color?
4-color value top.
Why not?
I don't know.
So
the top is necessary because I don't know how you're going to find these cards correctly without divining top.
That makes sense.
But
you said they are 1-1?
1-1.
Okay. Jason Jaco is pretty well known in the Eternal community. I think largely for his vintage finishes. And his very beautiful cards, so you guys should...
Yeah, we're going to try and keep up with what they all are, since most of them are altered.
There are a lot of alters.
So
most of them...
We know that they can be difficult to recognize on camera, but we think that the deck is cool enough that we wanted to take a look at it.
Yeah. Most of them aren't, like, totally weird looking.
Well, now I believe you have to have the original... I think it's the original art or the name or something.
Yeah. You don't need the art. You need the name.
So I do see...
All right, Pinot on the play.
I think that you are supposed to have at least part of the original art.
Probably part. Someone in the chat might actually know the
if any of you
rules there.
Are experts on altered cards.
Yeah.
So this looks like also a crack of a Flooded Strand for Jason Jaco as well.
KCCO was clamoring for a Worldgorger list here, so we're going to try to get Kyle to put that up for people later today. That is a very pretty island.
Mom versus Top here.
I believe that art is...
Classic matchup.
Yeah.
Thalia comes on.
I like this curve. I'm a fan.
This is the Greg Schaefer special here. We have an upkeep top. We
Thalia
see a counterbalance, so it's
God.
My favorite cards versus Greg's favorite cards.
Oh, man. I hate all of those cards in the right so much.
Though, personally, I think Jason is playing a few too many creatures. I'm not sure about these Charlotte's Agents.
Right.
They should probably just be Entreat the Angels.
Seems
at
awful.
3. It's a 3-mana spell. When you flip it to counterbalance.
Yeah.
And he puts a counterbalance in his hand and plays a fetch.
What set is that island from?
That is altered, so it doesn't matter.
But it's it's from it looks kind of like the original art. I think it's like it's not Tempest. It might be like Mirage.
It could be one of the reprinted ones that from like 5th or 6th
maybe.
that has been painted over.
Someone tell me in the
almost
chat
impossible to
because
tell.
I love that island so much. It might be my favorite.
Pinot attempts to go for a Pride Mage after playing a Dryad Arbor.
That seems good.
Resolves.
It's gonna be attack for 3 with the
Exalted
Exalted
trigger. So down to 16 for Jason.
This curve on the play for Pinot is very strong.
And Jaco is going to upkeep activate his top again.
Yep.
Sees
Thalia is really good against
top, so not quite what he wants. Yes, Thalia is quite an annoying card, and I don't think Jaco is playing Terminus in his deck.
He might be playing like Engineered Explosives.
He could be. So, like, for me, at this point, just digging for Terminus here would be the ultimate.
I'm being told in the chat that it's from Saga.
Ooh, Urza Saga. That sounds about right.
That sounds great. I gotta get that island.
Draws. Puts an Underground Sea in his hand.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he's...
Flooded Strand. Puts a Flooded Strand on top of his top, interestingly enough.
I guess he's gonna fetch to clear the top of his deck the next time he activates. Presumably.
He needs to be careful.
Looks like Pinot has a bunch...
Because now that Pinot has mana up, if Jason goes to activate his fetch land, with that still in the stack, Greg can attempt to blow
up the
top with his Bride Mage.
Okay.
Oh, but he's tapping out for 3 here. Green Sun for X equals 3.
Probably getting a
Oh, sorry. Green Sun for X equals 2 because Thalia is on the board.
Oh, you're right.
So it could be...
What would this be getting?
Gaddock Teague.
That seems good. Man.
Crushing against
this is the thing...
Attack for 4.
This is what I'm like most jealous of from Maverick as a Death and Taxes player.
Gaddock Teague.
Gaddock Teague sounds great.
Gaddock Teague, the old combo of Thalia, Gaddock Teague, and Mom makes... This is basically where he's locked Miracles out. This is like the hard lock for...
Yeah.
You have to have 2 Swords to Plowshares and then a Terminus.
Yes.
And the mana to cast all of them.
Yes.
So I have lost to Greg's board state like this multiple times, and it is...
Interesting.
It is not fun.
Yeah.
Because even though Terminus is cast for 1 mana, it actually costs 6.
This spot seems really tough for Jaco to get out of. I could see something like if he had Toxic Deluge.
See, the thing is, actually, if he's able to resolve like Monastery Mentor here.
Is he playing that?
He's playing at least 2 copies of Monastery Mentor.
So he's trying to like play a vintage deck or something.
Yeah, he's trying to... it's 4-color value top. It's all these like... The thing is, Thalia is really good because most of the things he's trying to cast are non-creature spells.
Right.
There's a Vendilion Click, which does not deal with Thalia.
Mm-hmm.
It actually doesn't deal with anything because Mother of Runes is on the board.
Yep.
That's pretty rough. Ooh, Jason has a Toxic Deluge in his hand.
Yeah, dog. I called that shit.
I'm sorry, I did not hear. That is the...
It needs a 4th land.
Yeah.
Right? Teague doesn't... Like, the Thalia-Teague interaction, it doesn't matter if the mana cost is 4, right?
Yep. Even if you pay 4, the converted mana cost on the stack will still be 3.
Okay.
So it does get around the 2.
It seems like he has to go for that play right now. I think he is.
Yeah,
he's fetching. That seems excellent. Pinot's going to be basically tapped.
It's got to be for 2, so he's not only is he going to wipe the board, he's also going to Stone Rain Pinot by taking away that Dryad Arbor.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Toxic Deluge was the perfect answer for this situation.
Yup.
4 mana.
Jeez, this is gross.
Puts it down. Oh, we assume he's going to 8 here.
Yeah. I can't imagine anything. Yep.
Protection
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Minus X. Yep, this is going to be for 2. Yep,
goes to 8.
He wrote 8.
Yep, you can see it on the pad. Thank you, Greg, for keeping such astute notes.
Yep. And
people
in the chat are asking who altered Jason's cards. I believe
he has a number of people that he uses.
I thought someone was saying like he has a guy in China that he like mails them to, and then they mail the cards back to him or something. Yeah. I don't know if that's where he's done all of his alters.
No, he's told me about a couple of different people the few times that I've asked.
Okay.
Because I really like his counterbalances.
Sure.
Of course.
They're all his cards are awesome.
Leave them to me. Yeah, they're all very cool. Though it can be annoying to play. See, there's a Monastery Mentor.
That's
and it looks like a Sword of the Meek.
Yeah, that's
so he's got Thopter Sword in here too.
Mm-hmm.
Par for the course with Jason.
Jeez. Man.
Yeah, it can be interesting to play against him because there are times where I can't quite recognize all of his cards immediately.
At least he keeps all his lands together.
Yep.
All right.
And he is playing spells in front of lands.
End of turn Scrib Ranger here.
Does have flash. Can Scrib Ranger be countered? I know it has pro blue.
It can be countered.
Can be countered. Okay.
Does not have split second.
No.
It does a lot of things.
So Jason knows that he has a 3. Oh, he knows that he has a 2 on top of his deck, I believe, with the sword.
Huh.
Chose
maybe
not to
it wasn't.
go for
Maybe it wasn't Sword of the Meek.
Could have been something else. It certainly did not have the original art.
It looks like 2 lands and a knight, so I don't think Pinot needs to draw
back
through.
For 2 lands, unless he
he can draw the Wasteland.
Could be worth taking the damage here. Oh, he's going to take all of it, so that he doesn't have to look at them
next
time. Turn. Yeah.
He's probably playing Wasteland this turn, I would think.
Well, 2 underground seas, so he could waste off both. Yep, he's going to cast Knight of the Reliquary to test the grounds, and then waste
both of Jaco's dual lands. Top end of turn here.
So Jason has at least 2 lands in play.
He really just needs to deal with
it. It looks so much like a sword.
Right.
Oh, it can't be. Never mind, the converted mana cost is too high.
He really just needs to deal with the Knight. Like, Scrib Ranger is a pretty slow clock without any equipment.
It is interesting that he didn't try and counter the Knight here.
Right. Yeah, he had a 3.
For no reason, at end of turn... that's a Terminus.
Oh.
There we go, so he is playing
So this all makes more sense. That Terminus looks sweet.
Yeah, that looks really cool now that I see it.
Yeah. We thought that was a Sword of the Meek.
Sword of the Meek. Mostly because Jason likes to stuff Thopter Sword in almost all of his decks.
That is true.
So I'm predisposed to
Pinot's looking at a couple more lands here.
Well, he put back 2, so he doesn't have to pay any life, but he gets to clear him. 7 Library acting like Divining Top at this point.
Yep.
Or rather, Divining Top acting like Sylvan Library?
Jaco's still only stuck with 2 lands, though.
After being wasted twice? Yeah.
Yep. Really needs to hit a third.
Could have spiraled some more.
There's a drop.
There's a third. So you're going to cast Shardless Agent, Cascade.
Ooh,
into Counterbalance.
2 Counterbalance. Does that really do that much?
No. It would if he didn't have a top, but did have a million fetch lands.
Okay.
You would get multiple looks at it, but when you have top, I guess it's playing around Abrupt Decay or Pride Mage.
Sure.
Crows and Grip.
And it just clears a card from the top of his deck.
I assume Maverick plays at least 2 Crows and Grip.
In the sideboard? I think it depends.
Well, they're on game 3, so
you have Pride
this is the
Mage.
matchup that would come in.
Yeah, that's true. So Pinot really looking for a threat-heavy top 3 here.
Yep.
Also, he actually paid 8 life, right? Off of...
Correct.
Yeah, so Pinot's actually a 10. I'm sorry. So 2 turns ago,
Which-
Pino paid a bunch of life.
There is a 2/2 in play. There's another Knight and a Wasteland, so he's going to pay 4 more life.
Going down to
Yep.
6.
Life to the wind.
So I think he's going to play Knight and Wasteland. Oh,
Monastery Mentor on top.
That's pretty good. I think Pino might have been taken aback by the Mentor there. I think Jaco is
Wasteland off the drop.
Jaco's feeling pretty great.
Probably going to see an upkeep top here. Keep that 3 on top.
Looking for land.
Yep, looking for land, and
Probably also to move around that 3. That's probably the best number to keep on top at this point.
yep. So he puts a blue card, a 1 convert mana cost 1 blue card underneath the Mentor. So Mentor is still on top.
Yep.
Because Knight is what he's really afraid of here.
Yeah.
The Thalia is also scary.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oop, it looks like he finds a Green Sun Zenith. Does he have the lands to cast it for 4? Yep. So he can find.
He's getting Siege
Looking for
Rhino.
a 4. Siege Rhino it is. Try and gain back some life, and it's certainly going to be the biggest card on the
I
table.
think he's gonna fetch. He might look for a Force.
He does it. He has 2 counterbalance triggers on the stack. So fetch down to 6. Life totals are low now. If this resolves, Pino gets to switch him. Go up to 7 and take Jaco down to 3.
Right. Blazing in the chat. I realized too that I had missed the Sylvan Library life for a turn, but I think we have it correct now.
Activate Divining Top. See, it's
Two
Abrupt Decay,
Abrupt
Brainstorm. Ooh, that Brainstorm was beautiful.
Uh,
Oh, and here we go. He's going to find the Siege.
This
We
is pretty
assume it's
bad.
Siege Rhino here.
the Abrupt Decays
It
look
could be.
pretty.
Yep, Siege Rhino.
The Abrupt Decays look pretty silly.
Drain trigger. Yeah.
Jaco gonna drop to 3. Pino going up to 7.
It does take off Sylvan Library, but he actually doesn't have the black mana to cast it. So,
Yep.
3 to 7.
Really need his Swords to Plowshares.
He's got
He can
Brainstorm here?
it. He also looks like, is that Wipe Away? Or is it Click?
No, it's Click. It's
Okay.
Vendilion Click.
It's like
Activate
top
top.
end or 2.
He already looked at these 3, but he's going to move that Brainstorm up top.
Yep.
Draws the Brainstorm for turn, so he has 2 Brainstorms, 2 tops,
No way
and a
to
Vendilion
shuffle.
Click in hand.
He can chump the Siege Rhino for
He
a
can
turn.
actually cast Vendilion Click, double block the Siege Rhino, go
Oh.
to 1?
Okay.
No, go to 2.
Yeah, go to
and
2.
kill the Rhino.
Yeah, it's very risky, but he might have to do that.
Ooh, and he finds a Reclamation Sage and a
And a
Thalia in
If
the
he can,
top
if he
3.
sages the Shardless Agent,
Yep,
the game's just over.
yep. If
You know,
he takes the
considering-
Reclamation Sage, well,
so
it's because there is not a 3 on top of.
He's
his
not
deck,
paying
right?
life.
3 mana Reclamation Sage.
Wow.
Will it resolve? That's the question number 1. So, Jason should realize by now that he doesn't have the toughness to survive an attack from the Siege Rhino because of Trample
Right.
without the Shardless Agent.
Uh-huh.
So he does need to top in response to the counterbalance trigger.
Just to try to hit?
Ooh, or
Oh, he
Brainstorm,
can
so he can put
Brainstorm,
the Vendilion Click back. That works perfectly.
Yeah.
Then there's less risk.
Oh, there's a Swords
and
too.
the Swords to Plowshares to deal with the Rhino.
Wow.
Wow.
That was a good
The
brainstorm.
top of Jason Jekyll's deck is being very kind to him.
So he needs.
You
yeah,
play all of the colors, you find all of the answers.
He
It's
puts
perfect.
the click back on top.
Swords
and he
it.
has the swords.
Boom. Up to 11.
Good grief. That was a really good brainstorm.
Activate top again. Keep that 3 in the deck somewhere, probably.
Jaco's playing very well, I think.
Doesn't need that Thoughtseize. Yeah, he seems to be on top of it.
Is that a pun intended or unintended?
It's always intentional.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Alright. What do we got here?
The top of his deck is Abrupt Decay, Thoughtseize, and Vendilion Click.
So does he just play like
So
a
he's-
bunch of good
Oh,
cards?
it looks like he's going to draw the Vendilion Click here. Swords Plowshare sliding. Herdless Agent coming in.
Pino dropping to 9.
He looks at Thalia, Verdant Catacombs, and Mother of Runes as the new card.
Okay.
So, Thalia, Mother of Runes, possible, but his life total is getting low. And he's got to be aware of that.
What can he actually find from this spot that really does much? So it looks like this is a click in the draw step.
That door was unlocked.
And Thalia
And-
reveals
You know,
Thoughtseize.
last
Not
night
quite what he
James
thought it
brought a
was.
whole bunch of stuff up.
So Jaco let him have the Thalia, did not bottom
Must
it.
have thought that he put the Abrupt Decay on top of the Thoughtseize, but he did
Okay.
not. So Thalia resolves.
Sure.
Slight misstep.
Yeah.
Activate top in the upkeep.
He can still... I was going to say he was just going to Abrupt Decay the Thalia.
He does not have black mana, though.
Oh, good point.
Because Greg has drawn enough wastelands to keep him off of...
He can't race this. He's 1 point short of racing as the board stands. So this is this might be an issue.
That's the thing. Maverick plays enough good cards here.
What's that red card?
Red card?
I think there's a red card. Am I crazy?
No,
Or
it's
is it
Force
just
of Will.
altered?
It's his Force
Okay,
of Will. It's the
okay.
flames behind the blue man. Red is the one color that Jason is not playing.
Gotcha. Give us a sad that Pino can't close us out with a bolt right here. well, he doesn't play bolt, but he plays Siege Rhino.
Also, bolt would do nothing against counterbalance top,
Oh,
but
that's a good
it would
point.
be quite cool.
Siege Rhino would be great.
Siege Rhino would be astounding here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Looks
how
like
many
Pino paid
four
life
those.
there.
Yep. So he's actually down 5. He's down to 4 now because he just fetched.
Thank you. He did not attack with click. Oh
Green
boy.
Sun. Ooh, X
For
equals
5?
5 or 4. X equals 4 because
Oh.
of Thalia. So he's going for Rhino again.
He has another Rhino.
And if this resolves,
Oh my
Siege
God.
Rhino takes the game. There we go.
Wow.
And Greg Pino wins.
He's playing 2 Rhinos. What a psycho.
The card is amazing. It's so good.
Oh god. All right.
Congratulations on a hard-fought game.
That was a
there.
very good game.
Just a few moments ago, Greg did not see how Jason was going to lose this game, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden, Greg Pino whips it out with the standard All-Star Siege Rhino,
All right.
smashes him into play.
Let's bring it back to the booth. That was.
We only have a minute and a half left, so there's
Yeah.
no way we're going to find another match.
I'm
But that was
still
a very
in,
good way.
I'm in
to,
awe of that game.
Very good way to close that out.
That was. I thought Pino was so dead after
Pull
that.
up our All-Star buddy Siege Rhino here.
Yeah.
On the Pro Tour, people were calling him Bloodbraid Rhino because it's Bloodbraid Elf that cascades into Lightning Bolt to the face every single time.
Helix. Yeah.
Lightning Helix, yep, sorry. Even better.
Wow.
Gain the life. Wow.
I believe that KCCO, I think he couldn't force because he was tapped out. I believe, right? Maybe he didn't have a blue card. Yeah, I think he was tapped out. Was the problem?
Yeah, he was tapped out.
Um,
And with Thalia, you need 1 mana to cast Force of Will.
right. That was an intense game.
Yep.
After the Deluge, I did not think that Pino could win, but
Sylvan Library, man. It's a very, very, very powerful card. Sylvan Library backed up with Wastelands to keep the
he paid
greedy
like
4-color mana base.
yeah. Did he pay like 16 life in that game?
He paid a lot of life. But, I mean, you play the deck long enough, you learn when to be aggressive in your...
digging.
in your drawing.
Right.
In your taking of cards.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So the people in the chat are right. Playing the second top really cost him because he wasn't able to pay for Force of Will.
yep.
And there really wasn't much to be gained from having a second top there.
Yeah.
So that might have been a bit of a misstep. I think Jaco played that game very well up until the end, though. Like getting to that spot was pretty impressive, I thought. 'Cause he was, like really choked on mana for many, many turns.
So real quick here, we're going to plug again. At the end of the night, thanks to MTG Card Market, which is where we're streaming from tonight, we will be giving away 1 DCI promo in Tomb. So when the contest goes up, you guys will have to be sure to enter that.
Yep.
And then
Courtesy of these guys.
Yep. If you find MTG Card Market on Facebook and comment on how much you like the giveaways, we'll get to continue doing it.
Yep.
We like to give you stuff. I'm sure you all like getting stuff. So,
All right.
round
cool.
2's up.
You
I'm
wanna
going to go pick a matchup. Is there any deck that you wanted to see specifically
No.
from this list?
I trust your judgment.
All right. I will take a look.
Oh, maybe if Bob won.
We'll see. All right.
Yeah. So our friend Bob is playing Belcher tonight. So if he won his first round, it might be a good one to start round 2 with because his match is probably going to be over pretty quickly one way or the other. But yeah, so this foil and tomb, we're probably going to give it away sometime during round 3 or 4. It's going to be later in the night. And we hope that you guys enjoy these giveaways. And if you let us and Card Market know online, in person, if you place orders with them, then we'll keep getting to do them. Maybe they'll get even better. Who knows? I'm just going to redo some of this overlay real quick because I always forget to do it. Sorry everyone about that. Richardson Port he has a pretty good understanding of how Belcher works in Legacy. I do think the deck is kind of fun to watch, though. It's exciting. It's like watching football when both teams are, I don't know, just going for touchdowns. Yeah.
For round 2, we have a classic matchup. We have Kyle Hauptman on Sneak and Show against Anthony Zinni, Tone the Foot, on his Esper Blade.
Why not? All right.
So both of these are actually Dig Through Time decks.
Okay.
But they use them for very different reasons.
Okay.
Kyle is using his... he has 2, I believe. Both decks should be playing 2. And Kyle Hauptman is trying to use his to find either his combo pieces or protection for his combo pieces. And the Deathblade deck is using it kind of like a super brainstorm.
Is it Deathblade or Esper Blade?
Esper Blade.
Okay, cool.
So he's cut the Deathrite Shamans that are pretty typical now, so that he can play...
Just more basics, right?
He's actually... I don't know if he's playing basic lands.
I played against him on Monday. He was playing some basics.
Okay, because I played against him on Monday and he was not fetching for any of them.
Well, that makes sense. Based on our different decks. I'm going to bring it down to the match right now.
Even when it was quite possible for me to Blood Moon him, he was not afraid. Not afraid at all.
Didn't give him the fear.
Nope.
Let's see.
So
both these players are 1-0?
They should be, yeah.
Okay.
That's what they said.
Cool. Sounds good. Did Bob lose his first round?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Alright, players shuffling up. Sorry, Shoddy. No Belcher this round, in all likelihood. If Bob's 2-0, though, I'm getting him on camera.
Alright.
I'm going to do it.
And set up another match for when he's done right after.
Well, that's what I was saying. He'd be good to lead off a round with, because he's probably going to be done in like 10 minutes.
We also had a Lands Mirror playing.
Oh, but, well, thank you so much for not putting that on, because I hate watching lands.
Mitesh didn't want to be on camera, so he saved you.
The only thing I hate more than watching lands is losing to lands.
Playing against lands?
I don't mind playing against lands, because I think...
If I'm playing Miracles, then I don't mind. Because I have a good matchup there. If I'm playing
Right.
literally any other deck that I like playing,
then
I
you're
have the worst
screwed.
lands matchups.
What let's pull up Dig Through Time here. That's the common thread through both of these guys' decks, right?
Dig Through Time, Brainstorm.
Okay.
But definitely Dig Through Time.
Not bringing up Brainstorm.
Nope.
Nope. Not doing it.
This Esper Blade deck is one that kind of wore away since it's so heavily... So much of its interaction is discard.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing the Thoughtseizes as his turn 1 interaction.
Yeah.
It kind of went away during the Treasure Cruise era because fueling your opponent's Treasure Cruises was not the greatest idea.
Right.
It got replaced by the Jeskai Blade that could fuel their own with lightning bolts and such.
Cool.
But now it's back, and here we go. Tone was showing us his hand there. He has Force of Will, Dig Through Time, Snapcaster Mage, Counterspell, Stoneforge Mystic, and a couple of lands. So pretty solid opener for this fair deck.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have the turn 1 Thoughtseize. He just drew a Vendilion Click. It looks like in Kyle's hand he has...
A lot of blue cards.
Sneak and Tack looks like the card he's going off with. But
he had a Soul Land. He has another fetch. Force of Will. Plays another fetch.
Cast Gataxian Probe for 2 life.
Yeah, this matchup isn't really going to come down to a life race on either side, probably.
It might. So
I mean,
these Esper Blade decks don't have that much interaction.
Yeah.
They have typically 3 or 4 Forceful in the main deck. Tony's going to have 1 or 2 counter spells.
Yeah.
Some soft permission, maybe a Spell Pierce or something, and then Thought Seizes.
Right. Do you think he's
so
gonna
what he
have
has to do is he has to put a clock on... the Vendilion Click is another piece of interaction, sorry.
Do you think Tony just jams the Stoneforge on turn 2 here?
I think he's going to... no, I think he gets to leave up for Counterspell. But because he has the instant speed threat of Vendilion Click. So what he does need is another land. So he gets to leave up the 2 mana here for his Counterspell. And then hopefully he'll hit another land so he can continue to leave it up and at end of turn go for Vendilion Click to put a 3-power clock into play, essentially.
Right. Sounds pretty good.
So let's see.
So
I don't think Kyle has a creature yet. That's the one thing he's missing. So he needs to fuel his Dig Through Time.
He has a couple of Spell Pierces, a couple Forces.
So he does have a lot of permission, and he has the Sneak Attack, but he needs to find a creature.
Right.
He has A, he needs to find B.
What? What is happening? Gibbous is trolling us.
Oh, Gibbous.
You clown. There's a question from Blazer Raids if what happened in the last match, and yeah, we had only gotten to see Game 3, unfortunately, of that match. It seemed pretty cool.
It was a cool matchup.
It was a great Game 3.
And it was masterfully played by both players, and it wound up that Siege Rhino was the card that took the cake.
Yeah. Both players played great. Siege Rhino won.
Double Siege Rhinos is sometimes all you need. It's all you need in Standard, it's all you need in Legacy, apparently.
So it looked like Tony just put Snapcaster into play end of turn.
Yep, so he just wants a clock. He just wants something to attack Kyle with.
Ambush Viper.
There you go. Take him down to 15.
Yep. It gives him a little more time to be able to sit back on his counter spell if he hasn't drawn the third land for a click.
So basically, if the two of them are just allowed to draw cards forever, the sneak attack deck is going to win.
Right.
It plays more permission and it plays a 2-piece counter or combo. Sorry.
That wins on the spot.
That wins on the spot.
Yeah.
There's simply no way to beat an Emrakul flying through the sky on the same turn that it comes down.
Pretty much.
Or a Gristlebrand, which lets you draw into an Emrakul.
Yep.
So, let's see here. Goes down to 12.
Looks like he's playing sneak attack.
Nope, dig through time. And Hotman is at 12 because of the Soul Land, Ancient Tomb.
Does dig resolve? Looks
That's
like
a good question.
So this is end of turn that he's doing this?
I'm not sure.
I don't think he's doing it in his main phase, right?
It would make. We'll see if he untaps here. I believe it's at the end of Anthony's turn.
Right. And that's why you'd be wary to use the counter spell.
The really rough thing on Tony's side is that he missed his third land drop.
Yeah, so he can't click.
So, yeah, he will not have access to Vendilion Click.
Did Kyle find a creature there? Do you see?
I don't know. It looks like he just found permission. He
found
found
like
a show and tell, a Lotus Petal. This is his draw for the turn. It was Ponder. So he has to keep fighting and looking for a creature. There was not one in the top. However many cards of his deck.
Doesn't
I guess
found one there either.
7
That's
is
a shuffle.
7 is dig through time because he had to fetch, so it was not a continuation. But
right.
Presents the deck, draws off Ponder. What does he got? It's blue. I couldn't see what it was though. He snapped it into his hand. A little bit too quick.
He really wants a non-blue card because both of his threats are not blue.
Is it a dig through time?
He has sneak attack. He could just put it into play.
It is a dig through time. He drew another dig through time.
Not the best.
So Lotus Petal, which is 2 mana for dig through time.
Yep.
Almost Black Lotus, am I right?
Sort of. So it looks like a Brainstorm end of turn. Tony is still looking for the third
There's
land
another Force
here.
of Will, a Swords to Plowshares, which is not great, and there's the
found
third
it.
land. Good, so he
That
gets to
was
tuck
huge.
away at least one card that is not great in the matchup.
If he didn't find the fetch there at the end, that was going to be a disastrous Brainstorm.
So he gets to fetch away this Swords to Plowshares.
Yep. Doesn't do anything. Do you think he's going to click on Kyle's draw step? Or maybe end step?
I typically go for end step when I have a counterspell in hand.
Right, exactly.
Like hard counterspell.
Yeah, it seems like too aggressive to do on the draw step.
But we'll see what Tony has been known to be an aggressive player. So
yeah, doesn't look like he's stopping him though.
Nope. All right.
Yeah, I agree with Tony not going for it now because like Kyle has cast a good amount of cantrips and card draw. Like there's a very good chance that.
Yeah, he's cast enough dig through time and cantrips that he probably has what he's looking for. He's missing one piece. Yeah, and Tony knows that. So if he can burn like a Force of Will or something on this Vendilion Click,
right,
in Kyle's end step, he's very happy.
Yeah, that's a win.
He comes out ahead on that interaction.
Still doesn't have a creature.
So here we go. He's going to fetch down to 17. He's going to put this Vendilion Click into play. And if it resolves, he has Kyle on a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, the life total is very relevant here now, I guess.
So, yeah, and again, Tony's not going for any basic lands against a Blood Moon deck.
Fnatic in the chat is being critical of our Lotus Petal plus Dig Through Time interaction. He's calling it 1/3 of Black Lotus.
But for Dig Through Time, it's 2/3 of Black Lotus.
It's definitely 2/3. We did the math. We did the math.
It is... It's difficult to do the math.
Like a Force going
Force
after
pitching
click.
Spell Pierce. So
I think I agree with this play because like
I think so too. He only has the one sneak attack in hand,
and it just buys him a lot of time.
Yep, and I like that Tony did not force back.
Yeah, didn't fight over it.
I don't think it's worth fighting over. So
Yeah.
here we go. He's gonna put an island into play. So here is a basic land. Maybe he goes for more basics post board.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kyle and Tony are good friends, and Tony's probably aware that Kyle was only playing Blood Moons on the sideboard.
Sure. Hunter in the chat thinks that he probably would have run out of show and tell to try to draw, like, bait out some counter magic. I think he might go for something like that this turn. He just needs to use more of his mana.
I definitely would use Vendilion Click in response to the show and tell.
Okay.
If Kyle were to just like cast show and tell, I would click before. Well, maybe not. Maybe I would try and use the counterspell. That's a tough call. Because it's taken Kyle so long to go for.
This looks like a dig.
To go for even a single combo piece that he probably only has the one thing to put into play.
Right.
And that's why I would use the Vendilion Click there. And Tony opts to use a counterspell on this dig through time.
An end step dig.
Yep. And here's a Force of Will.
Yep. Now he's fighting.
Force of Will pitching show and tell, so Tony knows what's up now. He understands.
He has a lot of the one piece. He just needs the other.
There we go. And he's going to dig on his own. He now has 6 cards in his graveyard. He can dig through time for 2 mana.
He's probably just looking for more Force of Wills.
Probably. Or more blue cards to pitch, because right now I
Right.
believe he has Force, and no other blue cards.
Oh, sure.
Nope, he has a Ponder in hand, so not even that.
So he has 1 Force?
Seems to be... No, he has 2 Force of Wills, but he
Does
also
he
has
really?
a Ponder. Yep.
Jeez.
2 Force of Wills, a Ponder, Stoneforge Mystic, and I believe he has 1 other card, but I'm not sure what it is.
Okay. So he probably just
found
needs
a
one
Brainstorm,
more
a
blue.
Thoughtseize.
So he probably just
so he
takes
finds-
Brainstorm Thoughtseize, yeah.
Probably. He could take Brainstorm, but
Eh.
I don't know if there's any reason to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
take
presumably
blue card.
double Force is going to be enough to stop him for a turn, and then you can Thoughtseize whatever's left.
Alright. So with 2 Force of Wills, and Kyle only having 1 card in hand, he's going to let this dig through time happen.
Sure. Alright, well,
there's a Gristlebrand.
Grizz.
It's the first creature Kyle has seen all game,
Yeah.
and I don't see any permission in there. I see 3
Yeah.
Brainstorms.
I think too much.
3 Ice Age Brainstorms, but no actual permission.
Kyle was forced to use too much interaction on
Which is
the
exactly
lead
what
up here.
exactly what Tony wanted. That's why he put that Snapcaster into play so early.
He probably has to jam this turn, though, right? Like,
Could be.
that was an Ancient Tomb.
Yeah, if he's going to use Ancient Tomb, he definitely needs to go off this turn.
So he has Spell Pierce. That's his one piece of backup, right?
Spell Pierce is currently hard counter, though.
He can only tap 1 Ancient Tomb because of his life total.
Yeah, so he actually only has the lands right now.
So he's just
goes down
going
to 2.
for it.
He's going to try and put it into play.
Yeah.
This is his last ditch. He doesn't have a Lotus Petal or
Yeah,
anything.
I mean, you have to go for it.
Force
Tony-
pitching Ponder.
Tony having
Tony goes
both.
down to 16. He's thinking maybe Tony only has... Because Tony didn't counter the dig through time, maybe he has...
Problem
Brainstorm.
Here, Kyle's also at 2. Sorry. Because he had to tap the
Yep,
Ancient Tomb.
Snapcaster is a lethal clock. Oh,
Yeah, he just countered the Brainstorm. Yep. That's the game.
that's the game.
Game 2. So that's probably the game where Kyle had the best shot overall.
Could be.
I guess
It depends on how aggressive Tony is with these basic lands. If he
Mhm.
continues to fetch out a bunch of non-basics, he could get locked by Blood Moon.
Right.
But yeah.
Like, usually combo decks get worse post-board. Right?
So it looks like Tony's grabbing Snapcaster Mages, Meddling Mages,
Yep.
Fluster Storms, Surgical Extraction.
I like bringing in Pithing Needle.
I do too. I'm not sure if Tony will. He's brought it up to his pile here.
Yeah.
Kyle
that
grabs
seems like all the
Shattering
cards to bring in.
He grabs Pithing Needle. Kyle grabs Shattering Spree immediately.
It's always great seeing the
Ooh, he's
board.
bringing in the Jace. I love it. Wipe away.
The boarding and the
There's 2
counterboarding
Blood
is always
Moons.
great.
Definitely defense grids are coming in. Thinking about Pyroclasms, but he's not sure.
Not enough creatures.
They're pretty good against Meddling Mage.
True.
You gotta wipe those Meddling Mages out.
Well, he's just got Wipe Away for that.
He didn't bring in Wipe Away. He set Wipe Away away with his.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Oh.
Ooh.
So he's not bringing Blood
So he's
Moon.
not even bringing in the Blood Moon.
I don't mind that. Tony's not Deathblade.
Correct. Tony does play basic lands.
Yep.
So what does Kyle bring out?
Show and Tell could be risky, but you probably can't afford to take... Like, Echoing Truth seems fine to take out.
I don't know. I feel like if you need to have answers to Meddling Mage.
I don't know if he needs that many probes. You kind of know what kind of stuff Tony's going to do to you.
Yeah, Tony's going to bring out, on the other side of things, Tony's definitely going to board out things
Swords.
like, yep, he's going to probably leave in Batterskull and at least 2, maybe 3 Stoneforge Mystics. So he'll take out 1 Stoneforge, a GT. If he's playing a Sword of Fire and Ice, that'll probably come out. Though I really do like putting Sword of Fire and Ice on, like, Vendilion Click and just... I mean, that in itself is a clock that is very hard for them to race.
It looks like he took out True Name also.
True Name being just a 3/1 against...
Meddling Mage is kind of just better.
Yep. The only difference is that one gets eaten by Pyroclasm.
Right.
But I mean, it's not going to matter because apparently Kyle's not bringing those in.
I would probably bring in, like... It's a little risky because, like, if it's just like a quick Stoneforge into Batterskull, Pyroclasm doesn't really do what you want it to do.
I just think that since you know your Esper opponent is going to be bringing in Meddling Mage, and they can just name half of your combo.
Yeah.
Like, you only have 2 cards that let you go off.
To that end, do you want to bring in Through the Breach then? Maybe it's too much mana.
Yeah.
Against a deck with counter spells. It's hard to know.
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe maybe he pulled those Pyroclasms. Maybe he does have them.
I think he's not totally sure what he wants to do.
Yeah, it seems to be switching, and I'm only paying enough attention to one of them apparently.
Clearly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so he's going to bring in 2 defense grids, 3 Pyroclasms.
I didn't even know
this. The Mind Sculptor.
Did you even know this art existed?
Yeah, that's a portal art.
That's awesome.
It's really cool.
I know this art.
I think those are the ones. Kyle might have the.
He has these.
Yeah. Okay.
He has the Ice Age. This looks sweet.
Portal art's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Again, I love my full art cards, so I have the full art Pyroclasms.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring that up.
Yeah, I don't think they're on the
Gatherer. That's stupid.
Yeah, it is. I don't think any of the full arts are.
Gotta love
maybe
wizards.
Islands.
Gotta love wizards.
Or maybe the basic lands.
Yeah.
But
so post board here, I mean, it seems like overall I'd want to be on...
I think it's going to be very situational by the hand.
Right. Tony does get to make his deck where basically every spell is interactive or a cantrip, though, right?
Right.
Like, he's taking out all the stuff that doesn't do anything for stuff that does stuff, basically.
Wait, but again, Kyle has the ability to just go off on turn 1.
This is true.
I know that Kyle has recently decided that he likes to play the deck a bit slower, find a little bit more protection.
Right.
But sometimes you just gotta jam it.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a very fine balance. And I think
there are some players that have done very well with this deck that
Stoneforge
are of the philosophy you just make them have it.
Yeah.
You just push the cards at your opponent and say, can you counter this? No, you're dead.
That's sort of like the Brad Nelson school of playing Sneak and Show. It's sort of like the more poker.
He won an invitational doing it, so...
Well, he did get kind of lucky in the finals.
That's not for me to decide.
Okay.
See, that looks like a solid hand from Kyle. He might just be a little Landlight with only 2.
He has 2.
But he has Sneak Attack, Force of Will, Emrakul, Gristlebrand.
2 forces.
Yep. Force of Will, Force of Will.
So he just needs to find the mana to play the Sneak Attack. I wonder if Tony brought in something like Council's Judgment.
Huh.
Is Kyle considering mulliganing? I don't think so.
I'm not sure why you would. I'm not sure what more you could want.
You have to keep this and just play land.
Okay, so he plays a land, passes the turn. Tony puts an Underground Sea into play. Does he have the Thoughtseize? No, he does not. He does have a Meddling Mage in his hand. So.
Yeah, Kyle drew a fetch.
All right.
This might be a hand where you shove on turn 3.
Tony goes Brainstorm, looking for more interaction. Finds another Brainstorm, which is his 3rd one. Another Force of Will. And a Scrubland.
How many forces does he have?
It looks like just the 1, actually.
Okay. Probably one of the best cards.
I assume this next turn he's just going to play either the Scrubland or a fetch land, depending on whether he wants to keep that Jace.
Pass.
Nope, and play Meddling Mage.
Oh, sure. What do you name, though?
Well, that's up to him. He's got a 50-50 shot. I mean, obviously, I can see Kyle's hand, so I know what he should name, but I would probably name the turn 3...
Win?
Yeah, Show and Tell.
Yeah.
Meddling Mage. Here we go.
You want to go see what he named? It might be obvious if he casts... It could be Pyroclasm, actually.
I've done that before.
I'm gonna switch to the other Pyroclasm art. They're both great. I support either. Alright, this looks just like a fetch land and pass back from Kyle.
Yes, we did in fact pick
Show and tell, okay. So that sneak attack is live in Kyle's hand.
Yep. Tony has picked Show and Tell, which would be the turn 3 kill.
Attack for 2. Kyle does not have Show and Tell, however. He has sneak attack. He doesn't have a 4th land, though.
If he has...
Does he have Soul Land?
There's
no,
4th land. I was
just
going to say,
4th
Soul
land.
Land lets him go off this turn with Force
Right.
backup, which I believe is enough.
Well, Tony has some brainstorms, right? He has some more looks.
Oh, does
no,
he have a
has,
Flusterstorm?
he has
Never mind.
Flusterstorm
Yep.
plus Force, so that would go kind of poorly for Kyle.
Yes, it would.
Although the thing is, at some point you do have to like make them have a bunch of interaction, right?
Yeah, you have to... Tony's not... His interaction isn't just going to disappear.
Yeah.
You have to make him get rid of it. He has to use it on something.
And like waiting
The
until
chances that
you're
you
at
find
low
more...
life.
So
is
there we
pretty
see
bad.
that Tony did bring in a Council's Judgment if
Okay.
it was not already in his main deck.
Right.
Yeah,
I like bringing that in against Sneak and Show typically. UCB asks in the comments, is Tony ever not on some kind of mid-range deck? No, he is always on mid-range.
he's a mid-range player. Well, I guess occasionally he plays control decks. I've seen
Okay.
him sleeve up Miracles, and I know in Standard he has been known to play control decks.
Yeah,
but he is a lover of fair mid-range decks.
Right. Although he just won a PTQ with Blue Light Heroic.
There you go.
Go figure. Go fucking figure. Sorry for my language, kids.
I believe this is a mature content stream.
Oh, good.
I believe that you have to acknowledge that you are 18 and willing to listen to Greg's vulgarity.
Yeah, only 18-year-olds know that word, so good thing. All right.
Well, there's also the, the mild nudity.
I didn't realize that Ghost was Ned. Perfect. Big ups to Ned.
Yep.
So it was an attack for 2, right? So
You also have to be 18 to see this mild nudity. Look at these bare wrists.
yeah,
Oof. Oof.
it's very suggestive wrists out of Kyle Hauptman here.
I mean, Tony's displaying one of them.
Look at the glare off of those pearly white wrists here. All right, so the average converted mana cost of Kyle's hand is about approximately 500,000. He only has 4 lands, so we'll see what comes of that.
Emrakul and Gristlebred attempt to trend that up a little bit.
Right. I have to imagine that some of the opening hands with this deck are just comical. God, even Force has brings up the average casting cost pretty high too. I think the average casting cost is like
gonna go for the
over
old triple
7.
fetch. Mind Sensor him. Get him. Come on.
That would be
Mind Sensor in response. Get there, Tone.
Well, that would have to get Force willed, but that would get countered then.
No problem. We're just yelling about what's in people's hands, so we want to keep a little bit of a sound barrier.
All right, Kyle, not scared of Wasteland.
Yeah.
Blood Moon would be pretty good right now.
Yeah, see, Tony's not playing around it at all, so
yeah, it's
if
really
Kyle had
not.
brought it in, it would certainly eat some interaction.
Yeah, it's tough. So this looks like, what is he using this mana for? All right, so he's going for sneak attack. I think he played a land this turn, right? Like, might Tony just let this resolve?
That
If he-
doesn't seem great.
I guess if he
because
has
then-
Lotus Petal, it's really bad.
Yes.
So it looks like a brainstorm in response. He might be looking for like a spell pierce, something like throwaway to try to
Yeah. I
counter
don't know how
the
much soft permission he plays. There's a Thoughtseize, a Snapcast, nope, Vanillion Click, and a Fetch Land.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
Wait, well, he's putting the Council of Judgment 2 down, so I don't think he's going to let this resolve.
right.
That would not end well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, that would end well. With the current state of Kyle's hand,
It would end well for Kyle.
it would end well for Tony.
Force is the Force, and I assume we'll see a Flusterstorm here.
Yup.
But maybe not. He's
Have
starting to
to
move.
admit.
He's starting to move it.
I don't know why you wouldn't. That looks like
Moving
Flusterstorm.
2 mana. There you go. Flusterstorm.
1 mana.
1 mana.
Yep. Kyle's
Can't see
hand
'cause you
is
keep popping those things up.
Sorry, yeah. Kyle's hand right now is 2 Emrakuls and 2 Grizzlebrains. So... God, I could not play this deck. Can you imagine looking at that hand?
I mean, I've played combo decks before. This is,
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough.
I know that it's not really part of your wheelhouse. It's not what you love.
It's really not my thing. Oh god, this is the funniest forcible of all time.
That's Thoughtseize. Yep.
Or Thoughtseize, sorry.
Did Tone happen to draw that surgical extraction? Because, ooh, that would be quite good.
It'd be alright.
It would take half of the pieces. No, it would be terrible.
I think I would take Emrakul.
Yeah, you want him to shuffle in case he rips Dig through time.
Yeah.
I think that would have been.
Right?
That's what I would have done, but.
Seems good. Maybe he's just not worried about Dig.
Yeah, he might just not be worried about Dig through time.
You said you named Show and Tell off of Melee Mage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess if he had that surgical hitting sneak attack would be even better because then it forces Kyle to draw his Pyroclasm before his Show and Tell.
Yep. This seems like a pretty awful spot for
Which
Kyle
is exactly
here.
why I was saying you need those Pyroclasms. You got to answer the Meddling Mage.
Yep.
Then again, I don't know how many Red Blast effects Kyle is playing.
There's Show and Tell.
Yep.
Right on cue.
Meddling Mage, man, it's quite a strong card. Got to
Fat.
thank Chris Bakula for bringing us this bad boy.
This looks like a fetch end of turn. Does he still have that click in his hand? 'Cause that would make it a 2-turn clock from this spot.
Yes, I believe he does. I think that's why he's fetching now.
Right.
Just to find that.
I wonder if he'll target Houtman or himself. Because, like, he knew that Kyle's hand was so bad a turn ago, you know?
Oh, 2. What does he want? He's trying to decide if he wants to Snapcast or Brainstorm. Nope, Vin doesn't click it.
I think, yeah, he's clicking himself.
Put
Yep,
Judgment on the
that
bottom.
makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. Get one extra free card. Here we go. Was Flusterstorm.
That seems great.
Seems perfect.
So now he has access to basically 2 Flusterstorms, right? Because he has one in the graveyard and one
with a Snapcaster. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Tybuck's wishing us Happy New Year's.
Oh, hey.
Is it Chinese New Year? Am I wrong about that? Because it's not normal New Year unless you've been sleeping for a long time.
No, better late than never. Thank you.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, Tybucks.
Thanks, chat.
We appreciate it.
Yep. All right, this looks like beaten for 5.
Come on, bring him in.
Wonder what they're...
Turn him sideways.
What are they thinking about?
Not sure. Boom.
Was Kyle posturing there or something?
Could be. I don't know what he's posturing against because it's a turn late.
Yeah.
But
So Ponder, looking for Pyroclasm. That would be pretty good right now. Yep, Lunar
Great
New
game
Year.
last match.
Called it.
it was a really good
Double
one.
siege rhino.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
it takes.
Every format I play lately, it's like I get him to 9 or 6, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Rhino time.
Alright. So Kyle shuffling off of his Ponder. He really is in desperate need of a Pyroclasm.
Draws Island.
Island is
Island's not going to do it.
not Pyroclasm. Yep,
There
that's
it is,
the
and
match.
there's the handshake. All right, with 24 minutes left on the clock, I'm going to try and find us another match.
Sounds great. Alright.
I doubt it, but I'll check and see if Belcher is still playing.
Tony with Esper Blade takes that match 2-0. I'm going to bring it back to the booth for a moment as we reset the overlay. And you can look at the lovely booth we have back here. So let's see. So I'm going to read off some of the other decks we have in the room, just so you guys can get a sense of what's out there. So we just saw Kyle Houtman on Sneak and Show. We have Kyle Norman with Esper Worldgorger combo. Chuck Harris with Defective Jeskai. We will check Shoddy if Belcher is 2-0. We have someone playing Reset High Tide. Bob is on Belcher. We have a couple more people on Esper Blade. Miracles, Lands, 4-color Top.
Here we go.
Lands, Junk Blade, Elves, Dredge, and 5-color Doomsday. I bet I know who's playing that.
Well, considering his name is right next to it, yeah, you probably do.
I
Assuming you
knew
know how to
even
read.
without looking at that.
So, for the next match we have here in round 2, 2 of Greg's favorite decks.
Okay.
We have Miracles versus Reset High Tide. So, it's the old blue on blue matchup.
That matchup doesn't seem good for High Tide.
It does not, but
I could be wrong, but
I guess it depends on how many ways he has to interact with Counterbalance and how early Ryan Bogner can get his Counterbalance.
are they going to game 3?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, we can bring it down to the table in a moment. I'm gonna reset life totals.
Yep.
Life totals are not gonna come into play too terribly much, I believe, in this matchup. More about the cards in hand and the spells on the stack. But yeah, Inkmoth in the chat is asking for Doomsday.
We'll try and get Jason on.
If Jason's doing well, we can definitely try to get Doomsday on camera.
So we have Ryan Bogner on.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it down to the table right now.
Down to the table. We'll get this readjusted.
So we don't know exactly what the match record status is, but we should be able to find that out pretty easily. I can run out in a moment.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, thanks, Nick. Got Ryan Bogner on the left of Grand Prix and Pro Tour fame. Before this tournament started, Bogner and I were playing some Jeskai tokens in Standard against Kyle Houtman, who's playing Abzan Aggro. And Bogner was mercilessly making fun of most of my plays, so that was great.
Ryan is actually up 1 game.
Okay.
In the first more than half of their time, they played 1.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Miracles versus Reset High Tide.
Yeah.
Oop, that is not his name.
So it's called Solidarity, right?
It could be. He was calling it Reset Tide.
It's Solidarity if it's playing Reset.
We're going to call it Solidarity.
Mostly me. I'm the one typing.
All right.
If you guys have opinions about if it should be called Solidarity or not, just let me know. Alright, so yeah, Bogner up a game, going to game 2 here.
Let's see, Volcanic Island, Force of Will, Dig Through Time, Batterskull, and 2 lands and a Flusterstorm.
So
Nate starts with Scalding Tarn. He has a High Tide Island, and I can't see... Oh man, he's like not flipping his cards around, probably because his arms are in braces, but...
Yeah, I think it's the carpal tunnel syndrome braces.
Which I guess is I don't know. Which is a fate that could happen to any Magic player, especially those of us who flip our cards around constantly.
Yep. Yep. So...
Alright, we got a draw. He draws a Counterbalance, quite good.
That has to be good here.
He also has Rest in Peace, so which one he goes for on 2 is going to be an interesting... Oh, never mind, 3. Here we go. Counterbalance into play.
Did Nathan miss a land drop?
Not certain. Well, it's... No.
Well, who was on the play then?
Yeah, maybe he did. Yes, he did actually miss a land drop. Sorry.
Yeah. Not what High Tide wants to do.
Nope. Especially against a deck that is also playing islands.
Right. Yeah, and it doesn't look like he has cantrips is the problem. He's discarding Spellsnare. That
had to be the draw for the turn. Otherwise, there's no way that the Counterbalance comes into play uncontested.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what the players were discussing
Not sure
right
that's,
there.
That's correct. Because, well...
If what was?
Discarding the Spellsnare. Because he should know that Ryan has... Well, that could at least be cycled, right?
Repeal?
Yeah,
what do you
repeal
target?
X equals 0 and you target the Counterbalance.
Oh,
just
sure.
to draw
just
a card.
Try to draw. Try to hit your land drop. That's
Divining Top into play.
Ryan ahead on mana here pretty significantly. Yeah. It's gonna be tough for Nathan to come back from.
Well, he'd see, if he had cycled it, he would have hit a land. He would have had one more land
tough.
at the beginning of the play. Yeah, so there's a slight misstep. Puts another land into play, and they are cool altars. I like those islands.
Yep. They are very nice. Everyone in the chat, we're getting on in the night, so towards the end of our cast, just to remind you, we will be giving away a foil promo Entomb, as Gibbous cited in the chat.
DCI promo Entomb. Yep. It is foil. It looks cool.
It's real pretty.
And it is courtesy of MTG Card Market, which is where we are streaming from today. So find them on
Chicago.
Find them on Facebook. Give them a like, shout out on their page, telling them how much you like the giveaways, and we will keep doing it.
Yeah. Also like our stream on Facebook.
Oh yeah. While you're there, tune into the WUBRGxyz Facebook page.
Yeah. Whatever. All right. Nathan mulling over his options. I see a reset in his hand. We can pull that up.
Reset's a good one.
Bit of an odd duck when it comes to common
right
legacy cards.
Right now, Ryan is clearly out on top.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. I don't think Nick could hide a smile on that one.
I'm not smiling.
Oh. Are you?
Are you?
Alright, that's a land.
All right. Nathan just kind of flopping his lands into play here.
Yeah. Counterbalance is hard for this deck to beat, I think.
Pretty far behind.
What does Ryan want to float in his top 3 here? Like
A 1 and a 2.
Yeah.
Yep. If he knows that Nate is on reset instead of Candelabra,
Yeah.
and he knows that High Tide is the only card that lets Nate go off, all he needs is... I mean, if you had a Wear Tear that he could float on top, it'd be perfect.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean, he already has a 1 because he has 2 tops in play.
Yep. So he'll never.
He doesn't even need to have a 1. He really just needs a 2.
Yep.
He also, I think, has a land or 2 in there, so he can just shuffle away at any point if he needs. He has 2 spare fetches. Like, his hand is loaded. He's got his lock in play. He just needs to find a way to convert to a kill.
Well, he has the Batter Skull. So what he's going to do is he's going to keep playing this long game, knowing that he has Nate basically locked out until he finds more lands.
Right.
Then he gets to cast his Batter Skull.
With a bunch of mana still floating.
And Batter Skull tends to close games out pretty fast.
I think there's a Jace in there.
Jace would also lock a game out pretty quick.
Yeah, for less mana as well. Like, it lets him... Like, he could just cast Jace on his turn right here. Or his next turn, rather.
Oh, we might have an end-of-turn play. Because Nate does have a Wipe Away.
Yeah,
so he can hit
Wipe
that
Away
counterbalance
could be good here.
pretty easily. Oh, he's discarding.
Oh, it's just discarding. Okay.
But I assume he's going to wait for that Wipe Away until he has enough lands to confidently go off.
Right. I think...
Which is rough because he's just giving Ryan more and more turns to draw into counter magic.
Yeah.
Which is basically all of what Miracles will be at this point. I was expecting a little bit more explosion out of the Solidarity deck.
Yeah, missing... I mean, it's one of the combo decks that is really, really mana hungry.
Yeah. I assumed that, like, he would, on turn 4, be at 4 lands and attempt to go off at that point.
Right.
Because playing a late game against Miracles is simply not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Meditate is draw 4, skip your next turn for 3 mana.
Yep. Let me pull up Meditate right here. Has great art.
It's pretty cool. Oops.
I'm a big art proponent.
Proponent of the arts.
Yeah. They should reprint this card.
In Standard?
I don't think it would be that great.
I don't know. I feel like it could be pretty good in...
Jeskai tokens?
Yeah, Jeskai tokens. The Jeskai Ascendancy Standard deck.
Actually, yeah.
There we
Actually,
go.
probably Jeskai combo.
Jace comes down, Fate Seals, bottom of card.
Mm-hmm.
It's an island. Ryan also has spent a lot of time playing High Tide, playing actual High Tide.
You're right.
And so he's pretty
probably
familiar with what this deck is missing, and he realizes that lands are about the only thing that Nate needs right now.
Yep. Yeah, because
Nate fetches and sees that Ryan knew.
He
and
needs
it
enough...
might be going for Wipe Away now. This might be his Wipe Away turn.
Maybe, because he's tapped low for Jace.
Mm-hmm.
Relatively. It seems like a Wipe Away
1, 2,
turn.
3.
It seems like it's about as good as it's going to get. Because Jace is just going to make things worse and worse.
Wipe Away. Trigger
Wipe
the
away.
counterbalance. Ryan knows what's on top.
Can't respond, so he had to already have a 3 sitting there for this to do anything.
The triggered ability will still go off, but Ryan is not able to do anything. Oh, and
Nope.
it's back to his hand. So
Did
Nate
not
has
have.
1 turn, 3, quote-unquote, even though we know Ryan has a lot of permission in hand, to attempt to go off.
So it looks like he has a Flusterstorm and a Force of Will. That's the relevant stuff.
Yep.
He also has Brainstorm and fetches, if need be.
And those Divining Tops let him know what's on top of his deck.
Yep.
All right.
So
what does Nate
Nathan,
got?
considering, he's got to go for something this turn, right?
Activate top.
Is this...
He
what
may
is
have just
this?
attempted to pass the turn.
Is he going to try to counter the counterbalance on the way back down?
I have no idea.
Alright. Let's see. Alright,
Oh,
this is a fetch in the
fetch.
upkeep. So Nathan's actually at, I think he's fetched 3 times here, actually. No, twice.
Twice.
Sorry about that.
So he's actually at
18.
18.
And Ryan has not taken any damage yet. I like this match because I don't have to do that much for the overload. It's great. All right. Is this? Oh yeah, because
Upkeep.
I forgot.
Yep, you can go off at instant speed.
That's the whole selling point to this deck. You go off at instant speed. Forgot.
High Tide. Looks like that is an altered High Tide.
Thanks, Teespring. I forgot.
Nate has a Sharpie and can then be called an Alterist.
I think he drew sunglasses.
So 2 mana floating.
Yep.
Could be a mustache.
All of this is resolving. This is 2 High Tides now.
So Ryan gets access to this much mana on his turn as well.
Right.
So he can tap 2 lands and cast a Batterskull and still have mana up. So he's I think he's fine with letting these non-action spells resolve.
Okay.
Well, High Tide is an action spell, sort of. It's
sort
a necessary combo piece.
It gives him a lot of spare mana to work with for like soft permission and stuff. So yeah, Nathan should have 1 floating here.
But each island taps for 3 mana.
Right.
Yep.
So he has 1 floating.
That's what his dice are showing. He's showing how much each one taps for, and now he has 4 mana floating.
Yep.
Goes down to 1 mana to cast Meditate.
Ryan considering whether or not this warrants fighting.
Yeah.
I think it does.
Could. I think Reset is the one that he's more worried about.
Having 2 pieces of permission, I think I would maybe... Alright, I think he's choosing not to.
We'll see.
I would maybe Flusterstorm. I guess Flusterstorm's actually probably your best counter, so maybe you Force of Will. You could hardcast Force. That's a good idea in the chat.
Yeah, he can tap 2 islands to hardcast Force of Will and still have 1 mana up.
Sure. Oh yeah. Ryan's islands tap for a triple.
Yep.
It's crazy.
All islands. So, that resolves. Nate gets to draw 4.
Okay.
Flusterstorm, Brainstorm, Snap, Brainstorm.
All right.
So that wipe away really put him in a somewhat commanding position here. 4 mana floating.
So he has 5 total.
Nope, 4 mana.
Oh, 4.
Reset down to 2. This is where Ryan's going to burn his Force of Will.
Okay.
There we go.
Nathan,
1 island, 2 planes.
I think Nathan's okay with this because he has the Snap.
He has 2 mana floating, so he can also flood. No, maybe
can
Flusterstorm's not good enough here.
Because Ryan's stuff taps for too much.
It could, considering he has 2
you
fetch
just
lands.
wait on Flusterstorm.
Yeah, he has 2 fetch lands.
If you let this happen, and
he may let this Force of Will resolve and then use his other reset, but that taps him out of mana. So if it doesn't work, that's the end.
He's screwed.
You could also Brainstorm here.
The weird thing is that they both have Flusterstorm.
Ooh. So without the other one resolving yet, here we go. Ryan
Now
Flusterstorms,
Flusterstorm.
and Ryan now has 2 mana floating.
All right, so Nathan is
So Nate now has no mana floating.
Yep. Seems like did not work.
Ooh. So that might have. He
was
may have just
probably it.
burned all of his resources.
And now Ryan could even play Batterskull if he wants. And Ryan's also going to get 2 turns.
Yeah. 2 turns in a row. Where Nate is just tapped out.
Yep.
So that probably is going to seal it. He's going to fetch. I would be very, very surprised if he did not find an island. Not only because it taps for so much mana, but because I would be surprised if he had more than 2 planes in his deck.
Right. Warmac in the chat weighs in that we all agree that Nathan is a champion of cool decks.
Yep. That's actually his middle name, surprisingly. Nathan, champion of cool decks, Mullen.
Oh.
His parents were very creative.
I always thought he was called PP.
Well, that was his Facebook name for a while.
Yeah, well. So from this spot, I think it's going to be real tough for Nathan. Because Ryan...
I think it'll be impossible.
He double fetched, right?
Nathan does not have a Force of Will. He does not have access to any mana.
This is also like Ryan's big turn.
Yep.
Or big 2 turns, because he can play Batterskull off of fewer lands. He can
so
also
he can
deploy
actually
the
he
counterbalance.
can cast his counterbalance and his
Yeah.
Batterskull untap. He also gets access to his Jace for a turn.
Yeah, he knows that Nathan's not doing anything. He's topping first, just because he can.
Well, no, because he doesn't want the mana to leave. When he leaves the phase, the mana disappears.
Oh, sure. Why not?
So he had 2 floating.
Oh, God.
So
he's drawn for turn.
So he had to fetch and then top and then fetch again.
Oh, my God.
Island still tap for 3 mana this whole turn.
Adding 9 mana.
which is Batterskull, Brainstorm, and...
Is this 3? So you can tap Tundra for a white and then 2 blue? Or
I'm
how does
not
that
sure
work?
about that.
Let's pull up High
Pull up
Tide.
High Tide. Let's take a look.
Until end of... Yep.
Whenever a player taps an island for mana, that player adds blue to his mana. Yep, so you can tap it for white and 2 blue at this point.
Okay. That's awesome. So he's just playing Jace instead of Beast Skull, although he might deploy it now. No? Looks like he's
Nope, he's
brainstorming
putting
it
it
back. Okay.
So I guess these 2 turns with the Jace is probably good enough. If he just slams the Rest in Peace here, he's... Oh man, Nathan's he's brainstorming with Jace actually.
Yeah.
Nathan's in a lot of trouble is what we're trying to say.
Yep. Hunter in the chat weighs in. Jace is going nuclear soon.
Absolutely.
That seems reasonable.
Oh god, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Love it.
These High Tides are really good for Bogner.
Ryan is casting a lot of Brainstorms.
Yeah. I wonder if he plays Brain Freeze. Or if he can, like, wish for it.
That would be interesting
Yep.
and only good in this matchup.
Yep.
And fetch.
Uh,
Down to 17.
Cafalor, I believe that Nathan did indeed cast those during Ryan's upkeep.
Yes, he did.
He wants, you know, he has to cast Reset on the opponent's turn, but he also wanted to give Ryan, you know, 1 fewer draw step, basically, by doing the upkeep. But Ryan having the Flusterstorm was really good that turn. It was really
very,
good.
Very good.
He could have beat a lot of other counters there, but not Flusterstorm.
And
Is this
digging through time.
This is the same turn, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm not.
He is
going
not taking
crazy.
his next turn, no.
Yeah, so
Ryan is not going for a quick kill by any means.
Ryan has another.
There are 5 minutes left in this
Oh my
round, and
God.
he is using them to their fullest.
Yeah, well, he's up a game, so you might as well hot dog it from this spot. It looks like he found Helm also,
Yeah.
so he could just kill him on
he's
his
still
next
playing
turn.
the Rest in Peace Helm combo.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has Rest in Peace.
That would
in
explain
hand.
why he doesn't need to Batterskull beatdowns.
Yeah, he has
Next
Rest
turn-
in Peace.
next
Rest
turn.
in Peace in hand, and
Yeah.
he just found Helm.
The
so,
next turn, which is going to be Ryan's as well,
Yeah.
thanks to Meditate, Ryan will get to... Well, he can cast Rest in Peace this turn and then Helm next turn.
Right. What a crazy game.
Can you do it this? Can you do all of it this turn? Nope. He is 1 mana short of doing it all this turn, unless he has some floating. I can't remember. He's done a lot of things.
They're saying you can only do it. Huh. Maybe he did it during the draw step before he drew.
After his lucky face. Yeah, it must be in the.
In
Interesting.
the you do it in the draw step before they draw, right? You can cast
Must
spells
be.
then.
Yep.
I think you can cast spells during then, right?
Should be able to.
Interesting.
Brainstorm.
Ryan digging,
Two.
digging.
3. That Batterskull will just keeps coming back. Shuffle
Yep.
away, bring it back.
Yeah. Well, floating a 5 isn't the worst.
For
Yeah, it's
Force
pretty
of Will.
bad, I guess.
Yeah, it counters Force of Will, but I don't know why Nate wouldn't have forced earlier.
Right. Huh.
With Rest in Peace on the board, those are both exiled. And now Ryan will untap and take his other turn.
Dev Clock, I'm not actually sure about that either. I'm going to ask the players if I get a chance later. Yeah, it didn't really affect the outcome of this game very much, but it's definitely good to know. This looks
Activate
like an
Helm for
activated
1, targeting
Helm. And Nathan's going to flip over his deck.
Good game.
Yep,
And that's the
concede.
match. All right.
Pretty crazy stuff. We only have about 4 minutes left. So I'm going to bring it back to the booth
Yep.
for this round. Pretty wacky stuff this round. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. Got Sneak and Show again with SmackDown.
Yep.
And
Chat, let us know which of those matchups you liked more. The Reset versus Miracles or the Sneak and Show versus Esper Blade.
What?
Just let us know which one you liked more so we can keep picking matches similar to that.
Yeah. Geoducks in the chat likes that we got to show Helm Rest in Peace. Something that Nick Hess here is very familiar with.
It's a thing I have done to more than one opponent.
Mostly during GP New Jersey, where you did it to 13 people.
Yeah, at least. Well,
no, you had a buy, right?
I had one buy and I killed some people with angels.
Okay.
But you also get at
Like
least
12
you get to
people.
do it at least 2 ice per match.
Probably.
Presumably.
If you win.
Yeah. So, you know,
Did to a lot of people. Gonna reset
there was a
some
lot
of
of Rip Helm going on
right.
in GP New Jersey.
So we're gonna try to get some 2-0 matches on camera.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to also figure out what decks are 2-0. Don't have a printed out version of the standings and pairings today, unfortunately, because I think Card Market's having some problems with their printer currently.
It's actually training of new staff. Somebody wasn't brought up to speed on how to use the printer just
Gotcha.
yet. So
They're hard, they're complex machines.
yeah, Wizards Event Recorder is
A piece of poo-poo.
stellar program that could use a bit of work.
Calling it a program is very generous.
Well, if we were on the grid and this were Tron, we would all be programs.
I don't really know what that means, but that means I'm a bad nerd.
Greg would be a user.
Probably.
You've really never seen Tron?
Yeah.
Oh, come
sorry.
on. It's a
My
classic.
Bad. My bad.
It's a classic.
I forgot to change the round label.
Thank you, Drew B. 1997. Hashtag blame Worth. That's exactly what we need to be doing right now.
Not any of us.
Wizards Event Recorder, blame Worth.
Yep. Alright. So we can pull up some of the other decks in the room. We still haven't seen Belcher.
I don't know if Belcher's winning. We'll see.
Yeah, if Bob's 1-1, we can try to get him on. But also, usually in round 3, we try to get the people who are 2-0 because that's kind of the matches. Those are the matches that are deciding who's going to win the tournament.
Going
basically.
to the finals, so they're the ones to watch. Absolutely.
Yeah. We have some Junk Blade, some Elves, Dredge, Doomsday. If Jason's 2-0, we've got to get him. Yeah, combo's fun to watch on camera because, like, I don't know, the games are like a little wonky when it's just two fair decks playing against each other. Too often it comes down to just sort of like standard, you know, it's like just mashing,
just smacking them together.
Yep. That's right.
I know what you wanted to say, and I'm proud of you for not tossing it out there.
Yeah,
but
well, it's...
how is Dredge doing? That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't personally know the person playing Dredge.
I don't either.
I'm very curious as to how Doomsday is doing.
Yeah.
I want to see if Jason is XO.
Yeah.
Or if he has made mistakes. Because so commonly playing a deck that complicated, it's not, I couldn't possibly win. It was,
I didn't win.
I didn't win. I should have done this, and I did something else.
I think they smacked the camera.
So
that's not too bad.
Our time left in round is about expired.
Yeah. Should be getting pairings in a moment.
Do you want to tell them again about the giveaway?
Yeah.
I will like us on Facebook.
Yeah. Totally.
WUBRGxyz.
You want to do this giveaway after round 3? Does that make sense, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somehow I managed to win.
Yeah, that seemed somewhat favorable. I liked when all of your islands tapped for 3 mana on your turn.
That seemed okay with me, too.
That was pretty cool. I thought you were going to cast the Batterskull, but you didn't actually need it.
No, I was planning for
the Rest in Peace kill?
Yeah.
That seemed good. The Flusterstorm seemed good. He had one too, but he couldn't cast it.
I know, yeah.
Missing your 3rd land drop with High Tide seems
Miserable.
suboptimal.
I think the word you're looking for is miserable.
Okay. Atrocious.
I mean, I played the actual.
You played a lot of High Tide, yeah.
So I was floating. Game 1, I was just floating at 3 on top.
Right.
So I stay out of.
What, wipe away?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wipe away and also meditate by, I mean, I don't know if it matters, but
Meditate doesn't matter.
just wipe away.
Wipe away matters a lot.
Do they main deck wipe away?
Or
they can Cunning Wish for it, but it also counters Cunning Wish.
So
That's convenient.
it's just like, if you're gonna leave top on, you can leave top on 1.
Okay.
And that's fine for most scenarios, but
Yeah.
once you have a commanding lead, you just leave it on 3
Because wipe away is the only card that can beat you. Yeah, that makes sense.
And they can like fake High Tide, and then you're just like to bait it, but you're
Okay.
like, really the problem is for his version is like really what you need to do against blue decks is end of turn turnabout, and then on your turn, well, I guess you have to like turn about their lands,
Yeah.
so they don't do what I did,
Yeah.
which is just like play your high tides. Okay, I'm countering all your spells with all this mana.
Yeah.
It's just like pretty bad for him.
Yeah, it's tough. Interesting. It's cool to see it. Like, there's not that many people who can get to play against high tide, but have also played it a good amount themselves.
Yeah.
It's cool. Do you think the reset version is like better now, or?
I don't know if the reset version is better. I know that I would definitely be playing some number of dig through times.
Okay.
Regardless
Yeah.
which version I was playing, because it's just like insane.
Perfect for that deck.
I don't know that you want to play that many in regular high tide. I think the right number would be like between 2 and 3. It's certainly
Right.
not 4.
Yeah.
I think with reset tide, you just play all of them.
Yeah,
like,
that makes sense.
Which I think is what Nathan's doing.
Right.
Because you have time spiral. You actually want to like accumulate high tides, and so you
Mhm.
don't want to exile them.
Right. Yeah. It's neat.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's cool seeing these new cards that like are just getting put in like fair decks. They can also go in these like fringe decks, or
Yeah.
classic legacy decks, I guess. There was a time when like high tide was like tier 1.5. You know, like
Well, I mean, it was
it's legitimate.
the best deck for a while.
Yeah, that's a while ago.
2 years, 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Or one of the best
one of
decks.
the, like it was one of the.
It was like a
best decks
reasonable
in the world.
combo choice, yeah. When there wasn't like Grizzlebrand and Emrakul.
I mean, when they unbanned it, it was like probably the best deck because no one
Knew what was going
knew-
on.
The problem with High Tide and why it never posts very like many results
Mm-hmm.
is because, well, when I'm saying High Tide, I'm talking about the traditional High Tide with Candelabras. It's
Yeah.
because Candelabra is such an integral card, and
Super
there are
expensive.
there are like 250 sets in the world or something, which I have one of them, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But not a lot.
I don't
Not
know.
a lot of people have
Yeah.
access to that to play it if they want
Right.
to. So like,
And some percentage of those people are maybe not the best at playing their
Right.
cards.
so like Matthias Hunt played with my Candelabra for a while because he's like, I want to play that. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, sure.
Yeah, he was like kind of getting like a name for playing that deck in Legacy.
Yeah. Those
But
were
it was
my-
your cards.
I mean, not always. Like he bought
Sure.
it for other people too.
Yeah. So he
But like,
it's
that's
always
the
an
thing, right?
asterisk
Like,
there.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, like that's the thing, right? Like when you're playing at that level, when you're playing at the professional level, like card, card selection is usually not an
Availability,
issue. Like, card
yeah,
availability
use-
is not an issue.
Yeah, you just borrow from whoever.
But with Candelabras, it was an issue. There were pros who wanted to play High Tide. They couldn't play High Tide because there weren't Candelabras in the room.
Yeah, they weren't for loan.
Right, and like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's
It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Do you
So-
know is Belcher 2-0?
Doomsday is 2-0.
Oh,
So we will be having 5-color Doomsday on camera next.
I'm down for that.
It'll be interesting to say the least.
You just made a lot of people in the chat happy.
How did you like that match, Nick? Masterful?
I thought it was great. People who are not a fan of Miracles, maybe not so much. But anytime it's just like, counterbalance? Oh, you can't win? You can't win! Those are the matches I love to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially when it ends in
it
Rest in
was-
Peace Helm. That's my...
It was literally over in turn 2. Like,
You mean when he
Yeah.
missed his land
Yeah,
drop and you
yeah.
played counterbalance?
Yeah, that was...
and then he drew spells.
Yeah.
He discarded it immediately, yep.
That's why he
Bit of a
discarded it, just to
landslide.
show where it came from.
Bit of a landslide.
Oh god, poor Nathan.
Yeah, exactly.
You might say, rest in peace, Nathan.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but you did. For both of us.
It's because I'm at the helm of this ship.
Oh god. If anyone wants to vote Nick off the island, tell me in the chat. We'll have a raffle later to see
See you, Ryan.
who
Good
gets
luck,
Nick.
Good luck next round. Maybe you'll play again against Jason.
Bogner, close the door. Please.
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 He meant please.
I meant please. Thank you.
Play better.
Thanks. He will never stop making fun of how bad I am.
It would be a miracle if he did.
Yes. Oh boy. Gotta kill everyone later.
Gotta kill everyone later.
Not now. I need you for now. Alright. So we're gonna be getting some Doomsday. gonna hopefully get less puns.
Oh, here he is, the pilot himself, the Doomsday Master.
You're 2-0. You're 2-0.
You're 2-0.
Yep.
Coming into the next round.
Would you play on camera next round?
Sure, I'm gonna lose.
Alright.
There are a lot of people in the chat who really want to see.
So our Doomsday pilot has agreed to play. He does want you to know that he has a typical record of only losing when he's on camera. So expect big things from him.
I expect a lot of Jason because he recently beat me for the first time in a sanctioned match.
Ooh.
So clearly,
Shots fired.
He's figured something out, at least against Thalia.
Wait, what? I didn't hear what you said.
You beat me for the first time recently,
This is true.
and you kind of crushed me too.
I did the double Lab Maniac.
Yes,
Right?
he
Yeah.
killed me with Lab Maniac out of Doomsday, and it was horrific for me.
Try not to lose for you, Craig.
Yeah, try to Lab Maniac them. Or just win however. Oh
Alright.
boy. What's going on in the chat? Alright, lots of votes for voting Nick off the island. Good.
It's fair.
Perfect.
It's fair.
Alright, let's call out this Entomb again. This is our giveaway. We're going to do this, I think, at the end of round 3, before round 4. I think that makes the most sense. We could also do it after round 4, but then it's like, it's late, people need to go to
We
bed.
might do it between games in round 4.
We could do it after game 1 of round 4, maybe. I guess we'll see how much like time is left after round 3 and stuff. But it'll be sometime in the next
when we
hour
should
or
so
so.
choose.
Yeah. So Brain Dead. This is the raffle for tonight. We haven't done it yet. It's a promo foil Entomb, and it's pretty awesome. It's courtesy of our host tonight. On Thursdays, we come to you from MTG Card Market in Chicago on the north side of the city. These guys, you'll see their sleeves all over the place, really.
Yep.
And they come to a lot of GPs.
Yeah, they're at almost every American Grand Prix. So if you guys are in Nashville this weekend...
I think it's Memphis.
Memphis, sorry. I apologize. If you guys are in
Don't worry.
Nashville, nothing.
I
Don't worry
I don't
about
think
it.
anyone went to Nashville because of what you just said.
Okay,
So,
well,
crisis
anybody
averted.
that is in Nashville, if you are also going to Memphis,
Yeah.
which is what I meant to say before Greg cut me off, clearly.
Yeah.
If you're in Memphis,
Definitely.
they have a booth there. Check them out. Say hi.
Yeah.
Jameson's the one with the big blue mohawk.
Yep.
Cam is the redheaded guy.
If you like the stream and you like the giveaways, tell them that our stream WUBRGxyz turned you on to their store. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's super valuable for like making our stream better, making our giveaways better, maybe bringing this content to you on more days of the week even if possible.
Yep.
So
We also stream Modern from here on Wednesdays.
absolutely.
So if you watch that, let them know. Talk to them about
Yeah,
us.
usually a different commentary crew for Wednesdays.
Yep.
We know our legacy. We know a little about Modern, but not as much as those guys.
Yeah,
We're
like
cooler,
our
but-
older cards. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, we're cooler.
We're
I mean, look at
cooler.
this owl hat.
We're cooler.
How can you beat an owl hat? Come on,
Yep.
who could beat that?
Andy Gray in the comments chimes in that he's known to use a card market sleeve or two, being sponsored by them. Sick brags. He also comments that he just changed his flight to Nashville because they're the same place and there's a GP there too this weekend. So
Oh,
it's
Good to know.
probably a better chance of getting pro points from that one because you might be the only person in that tournament.
well, it may not fire if they don't have at least 8.
Well, he'll probably get first and last. Whatever. What else is going on in the chat? Owl puns? Great. We'll bring them to you.
Keep them coming. Don't
I'll
worry.
Think of more. I don't know. I'm not going to try to come up with them. I was going to say something about spinning my head around, but that doesn't sound funny. Alright, so we're just waiting for our pairings for round 3 to come up. We're going to have Jason be on camera. Jason Wang. He's playing Doomsday combo. 5-color.
5-color.
Because why not play them all?
Green for Abrupt Decay, white for Silence, I believe.
Red for Past in Flames.
Oh, I mean, Grixis is
knows?
the traditional colors for...
What other red cards do you really want?
I don't know.
I think it's Past in Flames.
He might be playing the
I
red
guess
rituals.
You could like have like Pyroclasm in the
I
board.
think he has Empty the Warrens.
Oh, sure.
Burning Wish.
Okay.
So,
Sweet. Blackjack tells us that we're one of the only live Legacy streams nowadays. So sweet. Yeah, we
now that
we
Star City
stream-
has quit
yeah,
their streaming of Legacy.
Screw those guys. We're better.
That's us.
Yeah. We were at their last big Legacy stream. They didn't put either of us on camera, though.
No.
It's jackasses.
Well, I barely made day 2, and then decided to try and beat a snowstorm home. Greg was actually doing well, so he stayed and wound up cashing.
Yeah, and then I got the infection, and I lost, so...
And by the infection, he means he lost infect.
Yeah.
Don't worry about his health, guys.
Yeah, Nick's very concerned about my health.
Always.
Let's see now. Shoddy asks what's Belcher's record.
I'll go find out since
All right.
we're asked so often.
Yeah, we'll go check with Bob.
Good old WUBRGxyz.
Yeah, so we're not gonna have him on camera this round because I believe he's not 2-0. But in round 4, there's usually more flexibility with what match we can put on camera, since a lot of times the 3-0 players are going to be drawing in the last round. So we put like a 2-1 match on or 2-0-1, whatever. Let's see. Other comments in the chat. Backdash asks if I play Death and Taxes. I do indeed. It's basically the only Legacy deck I play at this point. I used to play Elves, but that was when Mirror Entity was still in the deck. So it's gotten a little better, but whatever. Death and Taxes is sweet. If you want to see my list, it's on Star City. It hasn't changed since that tournament, really. I should say, though, I should give a shout out to Bara, who's another streamer. He streams Death and Taxes a lot. I believe he's from Denmark. He's also on The Source, which is a great Legacy forum. If any of you guys haven't heard of it and you're eager for more Legacy content, going to mtgthesource.com can really be a great resource, because they're in the more popular channels on that forum. There are actually like a lot of really good players who commonly will weigh in on their favorite decks, so I'd recommend that.
Okay, here's the scoop on what's going on with Belcher.
Okay.
Well, first and foremost, we are still actually waiting on one more match.
Okay.
They're in extra turns, obviously. We're 15 minutes over. Hopefully they're done soon. Bob playing Belcher is now 1-1.
Okay.
Round 1 he played against Lands, and he did not win that.
What?
Round 2 he played against Elves, and he was able to beat Elves.
Well,
Even though he
Elves seems
says,
like a great matchup.
He says that in Game 2, his Elves opponent mulliganed to 2, and was still able to beat Bob.
Because he probably just mulliganed to Thoughtseize.
Well, Bob said that he drew some like 15 cards and still couldn't find any kill condition. So that's what happens when you play a glass cannon like Belcher. Sometimes you just lose to yourself, even if your opponent mulligans to 2.
Right.
But
that's what you're signing up for.
Yep. You know that coming in.
Yep.
So...
Backdash asks what we think about Food Chain winning the 5K. I think that list looked pretty sweet. It was playing It was playing Manipulate Fate and all of the common Food Chain cards like Mist Hollow Griffin. I think it was also playing what's it called? Baleful Strix.
Interesting.
It was playing a bunch of like value stuff, which was pretty cool. It was like a bug version.
I mean, the deck is pretty bad if you're not playing a bunch of just value stuff.
Right. Yeah, it seemed neat. I mean, I guess does Abrupt Decay killing your combo piece is a little rough,
pretty rough.
right?
Yep.
But
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, let's see.
But nothing you can do about that.
I didn't actually know this. Apparently, my favorite streamer, Bara, has not been streaming as much lately. That's sad. School makes sense. That's a priority.
Yeah.
So, let's see. What else is going on in the chat? He, oh, nice. Froth giving us all some good advice about what to be wary about on the source is not to get into the foreign foils, the pimp thread.
Ooh, yeah.
Trying to get into a dick measuring competition with people on the source about the nicest of your cards is probably not a good idea.
Don't do it.
And
unless you have tens of $1,000s to spend, you don't want to do it.
All right, I'm gonna check for round 3. I'll be right back.
Your cards are never going to look as nice as Jake's and Jaco's either, who we had on earlier tonight. All his cards are altered, and they all look gorgeous. Let's see now. Oh, there was also Genesis Hydra in the Food Chain deck. I forgot about that. Got to call that one out. Hydra Tidespout Tyrant used to win there. Kevin12 in the comments asks for top 5 Legacy decks. It's really hard to like rank. It's really tough to
Top
say
5
something
Legacy
like
decks?
that. Yeah.
Miracles, 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 miracles.
All right.
Nailed it.
It's really hard to ever really like quantify something like that because there's just so many decks.
Okay, so on stream now, we are going to go into our round 1 winner, Kyle Norman, playing his Esper Worldgorger Dragon combo.
And he's 2-0.
He is 2-0. He defeated, I believe it was Delver last round.
Do you know what flavor?
Mono Blue.
Ah.
And then Jason Huang playing 5-color Doomsday.
Yeah.
You know?
Why would you not play all 5 colors?
There's no reason. Fetch lands, dual lands, perfect mana. I mean, Kyle's not going to interact with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you might as well. What do you think?
About this matchup?
Yep.
I think the Swords to Plowshares in Kyle's deck might be pretty comical. But
I don't think they'll be great.
I mean, they can hit a what's
Goblin
it called?
token?
No,
Lab Maniac.
Lab Maniac.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see. I think those get boarded out probably. The other thing to know is that Bob, our Belcher player, is getting a repeat match against lands.
Yeah.
There are multiple people playing lands tonight. 2, I believe.
Right. He's playing against both.
Yep. So now he's playing against
If
Mitesh,
Bob gets to
and
2-1,
well,
I think
we'll
we
get
should-
him on stream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
If he goes to 2-1, we'll get him on stream for you guys.
As it is, these players are both 2-0. They're fighting for a chance to be in the finals, we
Just
believe.
draw into the
Draw into top 2, presumably.
Yep, top 2, definitely top 4. Kyle shaking vigorously.
All right.
And
Get the
rule-
round
can't see.
started.
It's impossible to see. I think it was a 6. And Jason rolled off the camera, so we don't know who's going first.
Perfect.
Oh, here we go. We've got a 6 from Kyle. We've got a 10 from Jason, so Jason will be on the play.
Yeah.
I think that Jason is playing... It's hard to admit that Doomsday is a faster combo deck than
Right.
Worldgorger, but I believe that
I think Jason's slightly
Kyle...
faster.
Yeah, Jason is faster and has more hand disruption.
Yeah, I think he's probably favored pre-board.
I think pre-board he's definitely favored. Post-board is interesting.
Yeah.
So many of Kyle's sideboard slots are not actually sideboard cards; they're just wish targets.
Yeah.
So,
I will say to Katy Perry Cherry Tree in the chat that if you keep spewing your vitriol, we're probably gonna have to ban you. So keep it under wraps, you psycho. We might know that person. All right, let's bring up the card of the hour.
there it is.
Oh, gotta get
Got
the
a
other.
whiteboarder, get out.
Gotta get that weather light. All right,
So-
gotta turn 1 fetch for a top.
Ugh, love to see it. You'll love to see it.
Nope, I don't. Ah, come back here.
All right, so Jason at 19. Kyle plays his land. Seems to pass the turn.
Yep.
Once Jason finishes shuffling here, he'll get to draw. What's in Kyle's hand? I see a lot of lands. I see an Animate Dead.
Okay.
And nothing else, because he fans his hand out and then closes it again very quickly.
Yeah,
He does not actually switch the order of his cards very often. He just fans it out,
he does do
closes
that.
it real fast.
He does do that a lot.
It was only recently that he realized he did it. It was a funny realization for him.
Did he really not know he did
He really
that?
didn't know he did it. We've got I believe that's Mox Opal.
Everyone else changes the order of his cards. All he does is fan it out and put it back.
Brainstorm off for Jason.
Okay.
I can't believe you just drew a Mox Opal. What is this deck?
Oh yeah, he has.
He has a Seed of the Synod, so he can turn it on?
He has a Metalcraft sub theme here.
Oh man, this deck is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, deciding what to put back on the Brainstorm here.
Right.
It's going to be a top and a land, it looks like.
I think the chat is taking kindly to my opinions on Katy Perry Cherry Tree.
Okay.
I think that screen name is also a challenge on how fast one can say it.
See, another line for Kyle.
Okay.
His Force of Will. I can't see what those blue cards are.
Force of Will in the Valley of Drownyard, Marsh Flats,
Oh,
another
it's 2
fetch.
Brainstorms. No, it's not 2 Brainstorms. What do they have? Oh, they're Cunning Wish.
Yeah.
That's the Judge Foil Cunning Wish. That's right.
Backdash comments that now that we commented on the hand fanning, he can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it. It's even worse when you play against him. He just does it over and over. It's also terrible that he puts his lands in front of his spells.
Oh, that's way worse.
I'm sorry for anyone that is in the camp of putting lands in front of spells.
Yeah, but you
because
should probably,
you're a horrible person and you should go home.
I would say they should like go jump in an ocean and not come out.
Yeah,
Just,
jump in an ocean with your cards probably.
yeah, go live under the sea.
SpongeBob probably does it too.
Yep. Lands in front of spells. SpongeBob's a terrible person.
You heard it from him first.
Yep. Shots fired at SpongeBob. And I think Paolo.
Wow.
Alright. See a top activation end of turn get resolved. I wonder if we'll see Mox Opal plus
Thoughtseize target Kyle.
Okay. This could potentially take
Drop him down to 17 there.
What would you take here? Force of Will or Animate Dead?
Animate
It's
Dead.
one of the two, right? You don't take Cunning Wish?
Yeah, I think... Well, it depends on if Jason has the combo in hand here. Kyle does not have enough lands currently on the board to cast Cunning Wish.
Right.
So if Jason's trying to go off now, I think personally I would take Animate Dead. Nope, he takes Force of Will. Because Jason has Silence, so he's not really that afraid of counter magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I think, yeah, I can support taking Force
It's
there.
hard to see what Jason has got his hand built up to.
Oh,
He has a Gataxian Probe, he has
Doomsday.
Doomsday. So if he wants to go for the Lab Maniac kill...
You said he had Mox Opal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he has...
He can play the Mox Opal when it's turned on, but he probably wants to save it for the Storm if he's choosing to win through Storm.
Looks like he's casting Silence at some point. He also needs more black mana to actually cast the Doomsday, because I don't see a Dark Red in his hand. So it just looks like a fetch and passing the turn back. Also, Jason is fetched twice, right?
Yeah. This is 16.
Actually, it's 16. Sorry about that. See
Kyle
the
did not
Mox
cast that
Opal
Force
here?
Opal. That was discarded, so he's still at 20.
Right.
Silence.
This is a Silence.
Jason says, no more talking for the rest of this turn.
And
Storm count is 1.
I wonder if Kyle's going to...
So I don't know if Jason's going to try and go off with Storm. I think he might just Lab Maniac.
Yeah. So this is a triple fetch.
Kyle going to 17.
This is the second time we've seen a triple fetch tonight. You don't really see it that often.
Mm-mm.
This is probably more than I've ever seen it in a single tournament, actually. The triple fetch.
Jason could Shadow of Doubt right now. He has the mana for that.
Also, he had the mana for even Mind Sensor.
Oh, yep, he does.
But didn't have it.
Apparently he's not playing Shadow of Doubt.
Yeah.
This just in Shadow of Doubt, not in Legacy 5-color
Right.
Doomsday.
Gotta have more
Such a shame.
wonky one-ups. Just get them.
Just gotta get them sometimes.
Get them.
You know, they try and shortcut and you're like, sorry, screwed you over.
Yep. Tiger Big in the comments tells us that lands in front is punishable by death in Texas. I did not know that.
Ooh. That's Greg's favorite deck, actually.
I might-
Death in Texas.
Right. I might move to Texas. That sounds great. Let's see. Kyle considering his options for his Cunning Wish here.
What to find?
It
He's
looks
looking
like
at
he might take Surgical.
because you could cast it for free.
The thing is, like, what are you surgicaling here? Like, you still can't
don't
cast
know.
anything end of turn here. He could get Swords to Plowshares maybe if he thinks he's gonna Lab Maniac.
Yeah.
But then you told him basically that that's what your plan is.
Yep.
I think
Could have been the old value. Oh, no, he's firing
so
it off.
He is doing it,
Jason says that's fine. It resolves.
and he's going for surgical. Kyle's invitational
take-
card.
Yeah, this is Kyle's favorite card.
It's
whether he knows it or
probably his
not.
favorite card.
I brought it up before, and he says that it's not. It's just it's good in every deck.
He
so-
likes it way too much.
He says it's not his favorite card, and he doesn't play it in decks it doesn't belong in.
And
It just
he's-
belongs in every deck.
Surgicaling Brainstorm.
So
There's
this
not a
is what
Brainstorm in
Jason
Jason's
has.
hand, but he does have the third necessary black mana in Lotus Petal, so...
Jason flips the deck upside down and says, "Go ahead,
Yep.
take a look." So Kyle is actually at 15 now, Greg,
Right.
because he has to pay 2 life to cast the Surgical Extraction.
So yeah, I guess Kyle was just desperate for any sort of interaction there.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
I think the writing is on the wall that he's probably... The turn that Jason casts Silence.
So what
Storm
can
count
he...
is now 3 also.
What
so
can he
maybe
do
he
here?
didn't want to do
What
that.
are his Doomsday
but
piles here?
That's a wonderful question. I have no idea what the
Yeah.
5-color Doomsday deck is playing.
Yeah, I don't
in
really
his-
know either. He's going to have 1 mana spare after Doomsday, presuming that he goes for it right here.
Yeah.
He has the top activation as
I wonder
well.
if he can do the Lab Man
I think he
Earth
can.
pile, because he has the
Maybe?
top to draw.
Okay.
So storm count is 4. Jason actually...
You can put a bunch of probes in, but you need to get the mana. Like, I guess you can get an LED in the pile. Yep.
Yep, LED.
So I think, yeah, he just knows it.
Yep. He knows exactly what he's going for, because Kyle cannot interact.
Is
So
that-
he gets to use the LEDs and the Sensei's Divining Top to basically filter, because it's 1 to cast, 1 to
He also has a probe left.
rearrange, and then in response you draw. So you can basically use the LEDs to cycle through your deck.
There's Ideas Unbound.
Ideas Unbound.
The last
Draw
card.
3, LED, use the floating mana
Yep.
from top.
The last card in the
Crack
deck
those
is
for
Burning
billion.
Wish, and he's gonna
Burning
go get
Wish,
Tendrils.
Targeting you. And that should be
Lethal
more than enough
Tendrils.
Storm.
That's awesome.
Tendrils of Agony. Got him done.
LED is a crazy card.
Doomsday is a crazy card.
Well, you also get to put 4 Black Lotus in your deck. So there's that. That was a turn 4 kill. I think.
don't remember.
Well, yeah, because Kyle
Yeah.
went land, and
Yep.
Jason was on the play, so that was turn 4.
Turn 4 on the play, certainly not bad.
Yeah, I mean, he took away Force of Will as well there, and he fought through a Cunning Wish for
Yeah, with the silence, it was...
not the most relevant interaction, really, but yeah, the silence was pretty good there.
So Kyle immediately taking these Swords to Plowshares out of his deck. Not even planning
Yeah.
on using them on Labman.
That
Not
was
worth
definitely
it.
that was the game that Jason had to win, I think, because that was the game he was probably most favored when Kyle had all those bad cards
Yes,
in his
I think
deck.
he's very favored there. Jason's taking out the silences, it looks like.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I can see that. Just want more discard, maybe.
yeah, he'll play it more like he would play against a normal blue deck. Kyle just happens to have a combo finish.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Kyle is the control here, I think.
You know what would have been cool?
Did you just board
Can
out a
we-
land?
Can we pull up silence real quick?
Sure.
What would have been cool is, I guess Kyle would have needed one more turn to do it, but if Jason goes for a Doomsday and Kyle can activate Nephilia Drownyard in response to a top activation
Oh, sure.
and just ruin the Doomsday pile.
Yeah, would have needed the
He would have
fourth
needed,
land
yeah, he
drop.
would have needed
But yeah,
the 4th land.
it's
That would have
pretty
been
cool.
quite cool. Kyle bringing in a silence of his own. He's ready. He wants payback.
Silence is definitely the card of the match.
The world will be gorged.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So for anyone who missed that Doomsday combo there at the end, so Jason got a 5-card pile, which included 3 Lion's Eye
3
Diamonds,
Lion's Eye Diamonds.
1 Ideas Unbound, which we will pull up for you right now because it's a little obscure,
Here we go.
and the 4th card, which is Burning Wish.
Burning Wish, which he could then cast for Tendrils of Agony.
Right. Basically, to get his 5-card pile started on the combo front, you activate top, draw LED, right? And then, wait, no. Then he had probe to draw back down. How did he start it off? It's really wonky.
So you activate top. Put,
Okay. LED?
Put.
Or did he get Ideas Unbound immediately?
You have to get ideas first.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you fire off a probe to get LED.
Oh, okay. He had probe to get the first LED.
You crack LED for the mana, and in response, draw a card with your top.
Okay.
Then you can, or no, you discard your hand. Then you activate. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So you activate for blue mana. Activate top to draw Ideas Unbound. Cast Ideas Unbound. Recast top with the last floating mana. Play out the last 2 LEDs. Draw another card with, or crack both of them for 1 for red, 1 for black.
Okay.
Draw a card with top to put the Burning Wish in your hand. Cast Burning Wish for Tendrils of Agony, and you have the mana deck.
So yeah, he needed he needed probe to start it off,
Yeah.
and then he had the blue to cast Ideas Unbound.
Does Jason have Sheldock Isle in his deck? I don't believe he does.
I don't think he has that kill. He has Lab Maniac
Yeah.
as a kill.
He's not using Sheldock, I don't think.
So this is another kill that he can go for. It's pretty risky for Jason to go for Lab Maniac in game 1 because Kyle has Swords to Plowshares.
It's
But
much safer here. Yeah.
now that he's boarded them out, I mean, Kyle can still Cunning Wish for it, but that's pretty slow.
Jason is also... He has always been a Storm player. He loves Storm. He loves counting to 10.
Yep.
Let's just say, as an astrophysicist, he is a man that loves to count.
I will say, though, that his invitational card is probably Sensei Divining Top, just for a very different reason than
I think it's Doomsday.
Yeah?
I think
okay.
Doomsday.
All right. He is, what, astrophysicist?
Yep.
So it seems like the perfect card for him.
He studies and researches planets.
Yeah.
So Kyle going for the end of Jason's turn on turn 1 Entomb.
We should get a Laboratory Maniac altered with Jason's face painted on it.
That
and
would be
give
wonderful.
It to him.
That would be one heck of a birthday present.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Putting Worldgorger in, I think Kyle's just going to go for the turn 2 combo here.
Okay.
There's not
that seems
that
like
Jason
a good
can
thing.
do about it.
That seems like a good way to go about this matchup, frankly.
So, Jason did dump a bunch of artifacts onto the board.
He might be going for the turn 2 draw the game.
Well, if he has Cunning Wish, then it's not a draw.
Right. I think
He has,
might have...
Oh, he has Drownyard. So Drownyard actually can win because he can generate infinite mana, blue and black with that one land.
He doesn't need another.
And then drown him out.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's pretty cool.
Okay, so still end of turn, Jason activates top, thinking, oh no, here we go.
What if he had just cast a Lab
So
Maniac?
there's Drownyard. Here's Animate Dead. This is as fast as Kyle's deck can go.
Yep.
Animate Dead targeting Worldgorger. So now when Worldgorger enters, everything else blinks out. Worldgorger dies. The Animate Dead comes back. He reanimates the Worldgorger Dragon again, and he gets to tap his lands for mana in response to the everything else leaving play trigger.
Mm-hmm.
So Kyle's allowed to generate infinite mana. He can say both blue and black. Activate Nephilia Drownyard targeting Jason enough times that he can mill Jason out completely.
Yep.
And that's
the
the game. That was very quick. That was as fast as that game could be.
Yep. That's.
And now that Jason understands,
cool.
he scoops him up. That was the
That's
perfect
the nut
draw
draw
for Kyle. Yep, the nut draw right there.
It's a 3-card combo.
So,
good grief. So I'm gonna pull up Animate Dead.
Yep.
And it's a 3-card combo there because Kyle did need some way to convert the infinite mana into a kill.
He either needed his Cunning Wish so he could find his Stroke of Genius, or he needed a Nephilia Drownyard.
So if anyone went to the bathroom or took a particularly long yawn right there, you missed game 2.
You blinked too hard and couldn't see for a while.
Yep. Jason got 1 turn.
You know, sometimes you get up to grab a drink, and then all of a sudden, Worldgorger Dragon combo has killed its opponent
That was
on the second
pretty
turn.
gross.
3 turns played that whole game.
Good.
So, again,
grief.
we're sorry that Belcher isn't on camera, but hopefully that was fast enough for you guys.
Yeah, Belcher might still be going by the time these guys are done, actually.
All right. So now Jason is on the play.
Pretty crazy.
Kyle has boldly decided to say, no sideboard changes, here's my deck.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's playing Cunning Wish. Like, he's changing, what, maybe 1 card? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. You maybe shuffle some in to give him the fear, but...
So there's a question, isn't the game still a draw? How does he stop Animate Dead getting Worldgorger back?
So if he mills his opponent out...
Yeah, how does it actually stop? Does he just choose to not?
You cannot choose to not.
Okay.
There is no choice.
So then what is it?
That's a
Oh,
good
then he
question.
mills himself. You mill your opponent out, you mill yourself until you hit a creature in your own deck.
Oh, yep. And then
just
he brings
target
back
that.
a Snapcaster Mage. That's what it is.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess Snapcaster is pretty pivotal in that deck.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Backdash in the comments is coming up with the same reasoning. Pretty crazy. Alright.
So
What do we got here from Jason?
let's see.
There's
Jason
a
is
turn
at-
1 Ponder, turn 2 Fetch.
Jason's at 19. Kyle just has an Underground Sea.
Kyle's could still be threatening a very quick kill, though.
Well, Jason's firing off a Thoughtseize here. Going down to
Okay.
17. Assuming Kyle doesn't counter. Oop, but Kyle's going to try and hide things with his Brainstorm.
Yep. Seems good. That's a Dig, a Silence, and
A
a
Scalding
Scalding
Tarn.
Tarn. He's got a couple more lands in his hand. He might want to put those away.
He's probably going to try and hide the Silence and the Animate Dead is what it looks like. Nope, not Animate Dead. What else is he hiding?
Maybe an Entomb? It's hard to say.
I think he would have just fired off the Entomb here. Hard to know.
Professor in the chat says he's never seen this Worldgorger combo before, and hopefully Kyle pulls it off again. If you're curious more about this combo, Karsten Cotter, who's a great writer on Star City, has written multiple articles, I believe, about it at this
If
point.
you're also interested in Kyle's deck specifically, I believe he posted an entire novel to that article just last night.
In the comments.
Yeah, Kyle's a big fan of posting on Carson Cotter's articles.
Yep.
And usually when he does post, it is an epic.
Yep.
It is not a simple paragraph, it is a story and a half.
Yep.
With results and numbers and entire lists. So this entire list is probably on the article from last night.
Yep. So we're seeing what...
Kyle tempting him to take the dig, but I don't think that's the correct play. I think the animate dead.
Yeah.
He couldn't bait him into it just by waggling his finger.
Yeah. He also did not choose to take the fetch land.
And top comes down.
Top's
Kyle draws that
pretty good.
silence. He tried to hide it. Blue, ponder.
Players getting some friendly banter in. There's
Flusterstrom, Cunning Wish, Snapcaster Mage.
Those
It's
are
a
all
solid ponder.
pretty good cards. He's keeping it.
Yep. Wants that Flusterstorm.
Yep.
Doesn't want to lose to the combo.
Passing back. Jason.
He has the fear.
Topping and upkeep. It
Top
looks
and
like.
upkeep. Yep. 3 cards. Can't see what they are.
Yep. So everyone, we're just gonna run through the combo once more because it is definitely complicated. For Kyle's deck, so he wants to get Worldgorger Dragon in the graveyard, then Animate Dead or Necromancy it.
So one of the 2 enchantments, the permanent-based
right.
reanimate
He
spells.
needs something that's going to...
And yes, we have Animate Dead pulled up, and yeah, it's really confusing. But essentially what it is when it comes into play, you put a creature card from your graveyard into play with -1/-0.
Mm-hmm.
And then if Animate Dead were to die, that creature then also goes to the graveyard.
Right.
Sorry, when Animate Dead leaves the battlefield, that creature also goes to the graveyard. So when Worldgorger Dragon enters to Animate Dead, it exiles all other permanents. But then because Animate Dead left, Worldgorger Dragon goes back to the graveyard.
Yep.
So all the permanents come back. At which point, Animate Dead will then target Worldgorger again, and Kyle will float mana with his 2 lands.
Yeah.
Dragon comes back, exiles everything. That
Cycles
process
through.
repeats over and over.
Every time you're floating mana from whatever lands you already had in play.
So you generate infinite mana, and then you use your value land, your Ophelia Drawing Yard, to mill.
Mm-hmm.
First your opponent completely out, so they have no cards left in their deck. Then yourself until you find another target for Animate Dead to stop the Dragon Link.
For Kyle, it's Snapcaster Mage.
Yep.
We see that Jason fired off a Thoughtseize last turn, and he did take the dig through time. And one thing, there was a question in the chat, which value land is Kyle winning with? He's using Nephalia Drownyard because he's playing Esper today. He has been talking about using...
Desolate Lighthouse.
Yeah, Desolate Lighthouse.
The red one that lets you loot for 3 mana.
Right. So you can you can basically loot through your deck until you find a Cunning Wish, and then use your infinite mana to go get Stroke of Genius and just make your opponent draw their deck that way.
So there's Nephalia Drownyard, for those of you who don't remember it from Innistrad block.
Yep.
It's one of the Innistrad value lands. I think the one from that cycle that sees the most play would be Gavany Township. Because of Modern.
Yeah. When they
For
were
a
in
while,
Standard...
Keswick Wolfrun was the Standard champion.
In Standard, all of them saw significant play except for Stencia Bloodhall, which was a piece of crap.
Sure, that was the black-red one.
Arguably, Wolfrun was the most exposed because there was a deck named after it,
Yeah.
but also Moorland Haunt saw
My
a ton of play because of Blue-White Delver,
Yeah,
which
my
was
personal
the
favorite
best
was
deck
actually Vault of the Archangel,
Okay.
which gives all your creatures lifelink and death touch.
ever. Really good with Lingering Souls.
Yeah, Lingering Souls, or back in the day, rocking Mortar Pod, Pure Steel Paladin. Shout out to my boy, Pure Steel Paladin.
Yeah, that deck was a piece of shit.
Oh god, that deck was awesome. What are you talking about?
It was the biggest pile of crap I've ever
The deck
seen.
was great. And
It's
you're
actually
wrong.
probably better than Blue-White Heroic, frankly. All right. We see. What was it? Flusterstorm going after Brainstorm?
Trying to stop the cantrips.
Huh.
Jason is low on cards,
Pretty aggressive.
so Kyle turning off the selection is very good for him.
Hmm.
Divining Top helps a lot, but
Looks like he has Entomb.
Yep.
He doesn't have a reanimation spell in hand, though.
not yet.
Jason topping end of turn.
Nope.
Leaving everything as
He
is.
remembers that he had just looked at all of those,
Yeah.
so
No
he
need
will
to do
leave it as
again.
is. He finds
That's-
Burning Wish.
Burning Wish is good.
Burning Wish is quite a start.
The problem here is Kyle is set up
Black
and
mana,
still has a
spin top.
good amount of cards in hand. Jason's hand is not stocked.
Move that 3rd card to the top. Cast Burning Wish.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's on Kyle. Does Burning Wish resolve?
Like, what is the best thing he could get here, though?
With what?
With Burning Wish.
I'm not sure. I don't know what he plays on the sideboard right now. Kyle has pulled Snapcaster Mage to the front, thinking about Flusterstorming this, since Jason is tapped out.
Right. I think...
Burning Wish is an activator card, so he could get...
Could he also, like, Cunning Wish for Flusterstorm if he wanted? Probably Snapcaster is fine, though.
Well, Jason shows that he boarded out an island.
So he's opting for the path of counter the thing that they wish for instead of countering the wish. Although he might be getting, like, Cabal Therapy here. Or Duress or something like that. Or is he getting...
Or Doomsday.
Doomsday, okay.
The obvious choice that we somehow missed.
Fair
he could
enough.
grab Doomsday.
Yeah.
Cabal Therapy or Doomsday are the two that he's pulled to the front.
Yep.
And Cabal Therapy is the choice.
Kaisha in the chat. Kyle's actually not playing Una. Carson Cotter did mention Una in his article, but he's opting instead for just other ways of killing your opponent.
Ooh, the Snap Dig Through Time.
Oof. That's disgusting.
Dig Through the Delve mechanic being one that you can use
He might whiff here on
flashback. Well, he hit the Animate Dead already.
Okay.
So he is good.
This is just end of turn, right?
Yep, this is
Okay.
end of turn.
So
He
got
grabs whatever,
the combo.
any two.
Yeah.
He has the Cunning Wish in hand,
He has
doesn't he?
Entomb in hand. He has the
So now he
reanimation
has
spell.
Entomb, Reanimate, and Cunning Wish. So he is good to go.
He can also attack for 2 with that
He has the
Snapcaster.
green light.
Yep.
Here we go. He's going to fire up. He's going to silence, just to be sure.
Why not?
Jason doesn't play any counter magic, I don't think.
Oh, boy.
So I don't know why the silence is in. But he
Jason
casts
probably
silence.
sees the writing on the wall here.
Here's Entomb.
He might think that Jason has something like... maybe he's respecting other people's copies of...
Silence.
Not silence. The Phyrexian mana.
Surgical Extraction. That's the one.
Overvaluing a card even when it's being played
Yeah.
against
I don't know
him.
why I said silence. Jason is tapped out.
Right.
Animate Dead, the Worldgorger Dragon. Combo ensues.
Combo online.
Kyle has infinite mana.
So
And
running through the cycle that we talked about earlier, Kyle's able to cycle through his permanents.
So Kyle's going to show you guys. Everything gets exiled. Worldgorger goes to the graveyard. Everything comes back untapped, obviously.
He can tap the mana
He now
now.
floats mana with the target on the stack,
Yep.
or the trigger on the stack. Either way works. And then he taps for mana. He waves his hands around fanatically, saying, "I have infinite."
Yeah. A
Then
lot
he
of
gets
it's
to-
about the flare.
Yeah. And the downward handshakes. Then
Yeah.
he casts Cunning Wish.
So he just demonstrated the
Instant.
cycle. He did that, say,
gonna find
1 trillion times.
Here's Stroke of Genius.
Yep.
Cast Stroke of Genius where X equals 10 million, and that will deck Jason.
Yep.
He cannot draw
Jason
10 million
has to
cards.
draw his deck.
Can you pull up Stroke of Genius real quick?
Yep.
I'm going to go find another match.
He didn't have a...
So there you go. There's Worldgorger.
Yeah. That is the kill.
Kyle moves to 3-0.
No need for Una, Queen of the Fae. It's just an unnecessary part of the combo, it seems like. Because, that's one of the cards that you would just never really want to draw. Cunning Wish is a great kill condition because it can also get you interaction. And Falio Drownyard's a great kill condition because it still taps for mana in a deck that has a fair amount of use for generic mana. I'm going to bring it back to the booth now. That was pretty cool. So everyone who was asking to see Worldgorger kill, we got to see a little more of a drawn-out demonstration there. Kyle actually going through a cycle, demonstrating the infinite loop, or the loop that he can go infinite with, I suppose. I'm going to reset some of the overlay here. I think we're going to try to get Mr. Bob playing Belcher on camera in the last round. I know a bunch of people were clamoring for him. Also, it's fun to have Belcher on at the beginning of a round because their rounds are usually quite quick and explosive, so we can usually get another match to move over for their later stages. Let's see here. Have some people talking about some of their favorite standard decks now.
We actually got our other 2-0 match.
Okay, great.
So Anthony Zinni playing Esper Blade versus Greg Pino playing Maverick. Coming back at you.
Are they going to game 3?
They're going into game 3.
Okay.
So this is a very fair matchup.
Yeah. So Maverick versus Esper Blade?
Yep.
I think with that configuration of Blade, I would probably pick them to be the favorite, actually.
You think so?
I think he's playing stuff like Supreme Verdict.
I believe he's playing one main, one side, actually.
Yeah, the card's really good.
But it costs 5 mana against Maverick most of the time.
Most of the time.
If you can even cast it because of Gaddock Teague.
He's playing basics. I don't know. He probably also has Toxic Deluge somewhere in the deck. In addition to like True Name plus Jit, you know, all the stuff, normal stuff you have to worry about as well.
I think the thing that actually pushes it is True Name and Jite.
Yeah.
If he can get that online and Pino doesn't have the
Kasali Pride
Mage.
Yeah. It's going to go real bad real quick.
Yeah. I need to go shoo Kyle and Jason because they're chatting.
Yeah. Christian Ryan in the comments is asking when is the giveaway. We're still mid round 3. We're going to figure out whether we're going to do it after round 3 or after the first game of round 4. And just a reminder, guys, we are giving away a foil DCI promo copy of Entomb, courtesy of our gracious host tonight, MTG Card Market in Chicago. If you guys are going to GP Memphis this weekend, you can check them out there.
GP Memphis, which is not Nashville.
It's not Nashville. It's a different place.
Different place, same state.
Right. Geodux tells us in the comments that Doomsday loses a lot from not having the Power 9 and Yogg-Will. I agree.
Some would argue that Yogg-Will is the 10th piece of power. They would be wrong. It's actually Time Vault.
That's a very Miracles type thing to say. I'm going to bring it down to the table.
All right, here we go.
So we have Greg Pino on the left playing Maverick. This is weird. We had our combo 2-0 match, and now we have our fair 2-0 match. So we're going to have...
I would be very interested to see... maybe not.
What?
If Maverick wins, then it wouldn't be such an interesting matchup against Worldgorger, I don't think.
Yeah,
It'd be very one-sided.
Yeah, I think that's pretty favored for Worldgorger.
Yeah, very landslide.
Esper Blade.
You could probably make Esper Blade 2 words.
What?
Deathblade was 1 word, but Esper Blade could probably be 2 words.
Whatever, man.
Since it is 2 words.
You know Esper is a made-up word, right?
You just admitted it was a word, though, so...
a made-up collection of letters? I don't know what you want me to say.
I wanted you to say word, which you did, so thank you.
Sounds great. All right. Players deciding. Looks like Pino got game 1 here. And he's leading with Thoughtseize.
Smashes that Thoughtseize out.
Interesting to have Thoughtseize in the deck here. I guess there are a good amount of really high-impact cards. It looks like Tony kept
I feel like it may be a concession to True Name being just so hard to beat for Maverick.
Right.
They just don't have very many cards that interact with it at all.
Yep.
Since it's very well-designed, very fair, very great for commander kind of card.
Yeah, a very reasonable 3-mana Progenitus.
Yeah, 3-mana card that is great when you're playing with 4 people, but in 2... it's kind of just straight grabbage.
Also, 40 life, etc. Pino, I don't think he has a very good choice here with this.
He may take the Verdict, depending on how heavy his creature.
Yeah, I would probably take Verdict, just because it's the most unique card. He's taking a Stoneforge.
A Stoneforge. So that the second one, because he gets to... Swords to Plowshare is one of them.
Right.
And then the other one would normally be able to put an equipment into play.
He still has a click, though. I don't know. This is a Ponder. Tony's draw this game is very good. I mean, and he found a Swords for Pino's first threat. Inkmoth next says this is Dark Maverick. I should clarify that.
Yes, it is
the deck name.
Junk. Or as Wizards wants you to call it, Abzan, but we're rebels. We play by the old rules.
Yep.
This is Legacy. This isn't Standard.
Right.
Although Standard, I would call this Abzan.
We are calling it Esper Blade, so we're accepting.
We're not that old school.
We're accepting some of their naming conventions. We call it what? So this is Green Sun for 1.
Typically,
Deathrite makes sense.
Interesting. Yep.
That probably just means he didn't have a 2-drop. I imagine.
Yeah. Then he wants to ramp a little bit.
Yep. And maybe
though this does usually have to eat a Swords to Plowshares. Deathrite is an actual threat against Deathblade until they start using Batterskull.
Okay.
Just because 2 damage a turn is significant.
Tony just passing the turn back.
Tony seems to disagree. He may be saving the 2 mana for Thalia, but that probably would have come down last turn. So
Not totally sure what's in Tony's hand for this turn. He didn't deploy the Stoneforge.
3 mana, Knight of the Reliquary.
So yeah, couldn't.
So yeah,
Oh, swords. Okay.
so Greg gains 2 life. It's a very small knight. Goes up to 19. Tony just plays a land, passes it back. Greg draws, he finally hits a land, but it is a wasteland that does nothing.
Currently, I wonder how many basics Tony can play.
At least 2.
I do like his basics.
Yep, the old unglued.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
There we go.
Pretty cool.
Casts another Knight of the Reliquary. Tony says resolves. I'm wondering if we'll see a Vendilion Click end step here.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, click could.
Click, Swords, Stoneforge Mystic. What else does Tony have in his hand?
He still has that verdict, right?
Yep. Okay. So we've
Double
got,
blue.
We've got 3.
Does he have a 4th land in his hand for a verdict?
Not sure.
So if he does.
Interesting. Greg chose not to attack there. Oh, I guess Tony's fetch land now turns Deathrite Shaman on to make mana for the Swords to Plowshares in his hand.
Pretty cool.
Here we go. 3 mana for Vendilion Click. Does that eat Swords to Plowshares before the trigger resolves? Well,
It's looking like it might. It's
Yep.
pretty.
That's exactly what's going to
It's
happen.
kind of rough though because he knows he has the Supreme Verdict. You know, like I kind of think that Tony just fires off Supreme Verdict on his turn if he has the 2nd white.
Yep.
Just takes the 2 for
Good.
1.
Here we go. Draw
Sinking
card.
Green Sun.
Couldn't see what Pinot drew, but
I think by taking Green Sun, that's kind of what you're declaring is your plan. Because like
could be.
he's just trying to
Draws.
cut him
Yep,
off.
He has the
with-
Tundra in hand, so he can just windmill slam this Verdict now.
Yeah.
Follow it up with a Stoneforge Mystic next turn. There it
Yup.
is. Blow up the world. Sorry, cannot be countered. I know
Yeah.
Maverick tries to do that a lot.
And yeah,
So he
Pinot
drew
did not.
Caracas
He didn't
and-
draw.
okay.
He did not draw a land.
Puts a sword into
Or a
play,
threat.
puts a land into play.
Well, he can get Dryad Arbor and put sword on that next turn
Dem beats.
if that works out.
I hope that's his plan. I hope that works.
It very well might. I mean, I think
Brainstorm
Tony
here.
has to assume that's what's happening here.
He has to remember it.
He also hit a Council's Judgment, so he can deal with the sword right now.
Yes, he can.
I think I would be inclined to do that.
A sword without pants. Dryad Arbor without pants does not really seem like enough of a clock.
Looks like Tony boarded in a Rest in Peace too.
It's really good against Knight and Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah, do you think that's enough cards that's good against to bring in? Maybe just 1 copy or something?
Tony seems to think so.
Right.
So means that Tony has to have boarded out his dig through times, I would assume.
Yep.
So
Maybe
Tony's
not
going
in-
for the more aggressive. It seems that he's not remembering
Dryad
Dryad
Arbor.
Arbor can just come into play at end of turn.
He's representing another Swords to Plowshares.
Yep.
Right?
Interestingly enough, I probably would have. No, with the Wasteland on the board, I would not leave up the duel. That's a good call.
Mm-hmm.
Greg says no cuts. Tony uncuts his own deck. He cuts
Right.
it and then uncuts it because he's not allowed to cut it again.
Sorry, the chat is clarifying that Vendilion Click should be exiled, which is relevant
Good
for
call.
dig through time.
Yep. I'll go mention
Here,
that.
Pinot is going for an equip on the sword. Oh, that looks like a Path to Exile. Crazy. Alright, getting basic Forest out of his deck. Tony in a pretty commanding position from this spot. Next turn, if he has another land, he can activate Stoneforge plus Council's Judgment away this Sword of Fire and Ice, potentially. Dryad Arbor tried to get a little frisky there, but it ate a Path to Exile. Tony getting passed back to. I think Pinot is activating that Wasteland during his own turn. I think that was a little miscommunication there. Very relevant for this turn because if Tony had 5 mana, could have done some stuff, especially with the double white.
So
This looks like it's going to be an activation of Stoneforge end of turn here, putting Batterskull into play.
another update from the field. It seems our Belcher player Bob has lost to lands.
Twice.
In Game 3, apparently, Mitesh had to mulligan to 3.
Okay.
Bob, on turn 1, goes off with Empty the Warrens for like 50... Storm is a bajillion.
Yeah.
Mitesh then draws into Crop Rotation, and Crop rotates
Tabernacle.
Immediately for Tabernacle.
Yep. That's game.
And then drew out of his mulligan.
Yeah, that's game.
And
that's
game over.
Crop rotation. Beating Belcher for today.
Yep.
Never before.
So Bob has beat Elves and lost to 2 lands decks.
Yep. This was also... Sorry, I missed an attack for 5 in there. Pino is in a pretty helpless position here, having drawn running lands for the past couple turns. Batterskull's going to be beating him in the face.
I'm attacking with this touch.
Yeah. We also... There's another attack there. Sorry about this life total. Trying to catch up. I think there have been 2 attacks with Batterskull. There was also one with Stoneforge Mystic.
Oof.
Pino showing all the lands he's drawing.
That's one of the rough parts of not playing Brainstorm.
Attack with Batterskull.
Take it down to 6, up to 31.
This Esper deck looks pretty good. We'll see. So, does black give you that many
Back
more?
up to 8 with the Deathrite Shaman activation.
Okay.
Swords to Plowshares, Windswept Heath.
He needs like Crows and Grip.
Plays another land, passes the turn.
Siege Rhino would also be okay.
Yeah, Crows and Grip is really what he wants to draw here because it can't be...
Right, responded to.
Ooh, and Tony has Containment Priest, which means Greenstone Zenith is not going to work.
Yep.
Oof.
It's a pretty good one here.
Activate targeting its own Knight of the Reliquary. Oh, nope, Deathrite Shaman.
Okay.
Goes up to 10. Unless this Batterskull hit him. I think the
Oh,
Batterskull
did we
hit
miss
him.
one?
Yeah, I think he's done.
Sorry about that.
Oop, is that Siege Rhino? There it is. That is larger than Batterskull. It is not larger than Stoneforge Mystic wearing Batterskull, but Greg has Swords to Plowshares in his hand. So if Tone goes for that, it won't quite work.
Mm-hmm.
Brainstorm in response to Siege Rhino.
That would be a disastrous.
He's
turn,
actually...
I gave him the 3.
Yeah, well, Rhino hasn't resolved yet. So
Ah.
I mean, we'll leave it for now, I guess. But, yeah, Tone saw, I think, 3 lands, so we can just leave it. 28. Thank you.
Tony probably fetching here.
I think he's recording the Siege Rhino.
Right, but he's probably going to fetch into turn and clear those lands. I would imagine.
We would hope.
He has Containment Priest, and he's just going to deploy it.
Yep.
He's, like...
He's thinking that Priest wearing the Batterskull is big enough to kill the Siege Rhino?
Right. What he doesn't know is that it's
The
going to get
Swords to
swords.
is not going to... Yeah.
Yep. We believe that Pino's playing 2 copies of Siege Rhino as well.
Yes, we know that he is.
It's at least 2.
It's at least 2 copies.
It could be even more.
I don't know why you would play more than that, but
Who
he was also
knows?
saying 2 Rhinos when he was in here just a bit ago.
Right.
So, I believe that's it. Plays a fetch land, attempts to equip. Does Greg have anything to say about that? Yep, he fetches here down to 8. Finds a white, Swords to Plowshares targeting the... So the question is...
He probably did it in response.
Did he do it in response? And Tony didn't give him time? Or did he do it after the equip?
I would definitely... Oh, yeah. You do it in response.
So we move the germ... Either he puts the germ back on the Batterskull, or... Okay, nope. So Greg, Tony's actually going to gain 6.
Oh, yeah. I guess you want
Because
to
you want
get
the germ
rid
to
of...
disappear. Yep.
So it's another 4.
Right. Well,
pretty
then he
cool.
also activated Deathrite to exile a spell. So he's actually 32, I believe. There's a Thalia. Not that that is entirely relevant at this stage in the game. Siege Rhino coming in for 4.
Getting frisky.
Boom! Smash him.
So... What is the defense against Stoneforge wearing Batterskull?
I don't know if he has one at this point. But Tone has...
Oh, it's just Thalia plus Caracas.
Oh, yes, that will work.
Sorry. I apologize to the Death and Taxes
Craig.
players.
As a Death in Texas player.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't see that. I don't know if Tony sees it. Oh, he sees it.
Says go.
I would still attack. Make him do it. Like, make him use the mana. Hmm. 3 mana. Oh, boy.
Does that wreck the battle skull? Yes,
That
it does
is
wreck the battle
real
skull.
good.
So,
Oh, my God.
for the second time tonight, Greg Schaefer declares that Pino is out of the game, and Pino does not give up. He fights his way back in with his green and white dudes.
I don't understand this.
Siege Rhino leading the way.
Rexage was a sick rip.
Rexage and Siege Rhino is apparently all Greg Pino needs to beat these blue decks.
No,
it is
that's
Ponder.
That's not as good.
2 mana for Ponder.
He really
feels terrible.
He really needs.
Rest in Peace is not doing it. What is that other card? He hit it too quickly. I think it's Swords to Plowshares.
Okay, that's something.
Ugh, kinda.
Man, this is a pretty sick comeback.
Oh man, I think that
Tony not.
True Name and Jite is the only thing that's really going to get him out of this.
Yeah, Tony not having the 3rd mana that turn to bounce.
Maybe
the
the fact that
Batterskull.
Tony's at like 100 life could help.
Sure.
He keeps the. I think it's the swords, but I can't
His
really
best
see
card
it.
right now is probably Dig Through Time, right?
Yeah, it's the only
Which
way
he
to get him up
might
on
have
cards.
boarded out if he boarded
Tony
in
down
Rest
to
in Peace.
24 after a Death Right activation. Oof. Not 2,000.
Yeah.
It's 24.
This is an attack for 8, most likely.
Rough. Crazy.
Yeah.
Yep. Coming in for 8. What does Tony have
block?
to say?
He's putting it on Rexage.
Wouldn't make sense to put it on Thalia.
It would not. Swordsing the Siege Rhino. Pino going up to 12. Looks like
Digging himself out
Tony
of this
taking
hole.
2. I mean, now the clock is quite diminished, really. Like, now it's only a 4 turn. Trades here.
2 a turn.
Well, plus Death Right.
Sure. 4 a turn. Good call.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of time, really. Killing the Rhino bought him many draw steps.
A lot of mages.
Tony dropping to 21, clearing the rest of that Ponder there.
And the fact that he has Thalia plus Caracas,
Yeah.
I mean, Thraben is safe. It is well guarded right
There's
now.
only a couple minutes left in this round as well. The players might have a couple minute extension because they moved over before game 3, but
Yep.
not a ton of time to finish this one up here. What are Tony's best draw steps now? Dig if it's in the deck.
Definitely Dig Through Time if it's still in the deck, which would be awkward with Rest in Peace.
Supreme Verdict's not great because of Caracas.
Yep. I think that
True Name would be great.
True Name Nemesis, and then follow it up with a like Umezawa's Jite is
Okay.
possibly his only way to.
His best sequence.
Yeah.
Click would be good, a flyer,
Oop,
you know?
Engineered Explosives on 1.
Setting it on 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows that X can equal 0, but he
yeah.
has to pay 1 mana.
So-
And Sunburst checks for the mana paid, not the mana cost that is declared.
Yeah,
So-
he's setting the explosive
Blood
to
on 1.
0, but it's been paid due to the Thalia attacks with a white or blue mana. So it's actually getting a counter. He's blowing up the Death Right there. I think there was an activation in response, probably putting Tony down lower on life, I believe.
17.
And Thoughtseize.
Oh, that's where he flips over the
2
lands.
lands.
Got him! Still had all these.
The best defense against Thoughtseize
Who
is
draws more
a piece
lands?
of garbage hand.
Oh, man, Tony needs a... He doesn't have a Brainstorm or a fetch land right now. Or, yeah.
Reminding Pino.
Well, Greg said which 2 was it.
Right. Definitely relevant.
Gotta keep track.
Seems like Tony is.
Tony's in the tank.
Tony's posturing that he's drawing a spell.
Tone the Foot is in the tank. Here we
He
go.
has.
Snapcaster Mage, blue-black.
Brainstorm? Ponder. I think that was
Ponder.
Ponder, yeah.
Swords to Posture. Jace the Mind Sculptor, True Name Nemesis, the
Oh,
perfect
boy.
ponder.
Oh, boy.
Hopefully they did not just hear me yell that. I don't think they could.
Well,
We
he's
haven't
about
gone
to see
between us.
them cast.
But, boom, off the top,
Is
True
it-
Name hits the
Yeah,
board
True
and
Name
says,
seems good.
Thalia, stop attacking.
Yeah. Thalia really should have had flying.
Oof, those are... No, it does not need flying. It has first strike.
Should have had flying.
At 2 mana, get out of here.
This looks like it's going to be a Jace Brainstorm, I presume.
Oh,
I don't know if I would
it's my
play that
favorite,
land.
my favorite thing.
I don't know if
Here
I
we
would
go.
have. Would you have played that land?
Yeah,
Why?
why not?
Do you want to brainstorm it away?
I think your best bet is to try and start hitting giant spells at this point. You don't have a fetch land, so there's no point. There's no way to clear it.
But
I don't know if I would attack here. I guess he kind of has to, since they're getting low on time. He needs to close it out.
Yeah.
Oh, Pithing Needle for Jace. Brutal.
Oh, no.
Brutal.
There's still True Name.
Yeah, True Name Nemesis.
So
not fair.
Pino's at 7, because there was an attack from the True Name.
Thalia comes in.
Thalia. He's quite behind in the race, though. Pino really needs an equipment. Like Jitte would be a good draw.
Tone also needs the same thing.
Yeah.
Tone the Foot looking for the same things. Oh, he bounces it so he can leave it up to block for Snapcaster, leaving it super open to removal spell.
Yep.
There's a removal spell. Pino up to 9.
This game has had a lot of swings.
This game is swinging all over. Now it looks like Tony is back in the command without the Siege Rhino. There we go, in for 5.
True Name's
knocking
gross.
Pino down to 4.
Why don't I play these cards?
Pino down to 4. Here we go, his draw step. Oh, he flips over all lands, and that's the handshake. Tone the Foot takes it down in the 3rd game after being so far ahead he can't lose, and then dropping to the point where he couldn't win, and now bouncing back with the old True Name Jace.
He was drawing to
Zealous Persecution.
Zealous.
It would have been a 2-for-1.
Would have been pretty good.
It would have been quite good.
Some cool stuff there.
With only a minute left in the round, I don't think we have quite enough time to...
No, sir. I'm going to bring it back to the booth.
Please do. Here we are. This is us in the booth.
That was fireworks.
It's great.
I'm sorry that Thalia lost.
I mean, I got to see a bunch of my favorite cards win. Jace the Mind Sculptor. He's got a special place in my...
Yeah, he's fine. It's whatever.
He is great. True Name Nemesis, Baby Progenitus, as he is known amongst his friends.
Yeah.
Doing work, you know.
I thought Siege Rhino had it locked up.
Cards. Yeah, well, sometimes the 1-mana removal spell takes him away.
Yeah, that's weird.
For the small price of getting 4 life.
So what do you think? Should we do Waffle Time now, or should we do Waffle Time later?
That's a good question.
So everyone who has missed it earlier,
tell them one more time.
We are giving away a foil Entomb FNM, courtesy of our...
Or it's a DCI promo.
DCI promo.
Yeah.
Not FNM.
Not FNM promo.
They don't give you legacy cards at FNM.
No. Unfortunately. I think they give you uncommon standard cards only.
Basically. Some commons. Courtesy of MTG Card Market, our gracious hosts. These guys will be... They'll have a booth at GP Memphis this weekend. Go check them out.
We've got their banner on the side of our stream there. If you can't understand us when we say their name quickly or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it...
I'm going to bring up Entomb.
I'm going to go check and see how many decks are still... How many people are still playing.
Okay. I'm going to reset the overlay.
If there are not very many, then we'll go into round 4.
Okay. Yeah.
It might be almost waffle time.
We have basically no time left in this round, so in the interest of getting our next match on camera going, we're probably going to do the raffle after game 1, so not very long from now, because I believe time was just called in this round. Crimson Viper asks for Cardmar to get some duels, because he wants to get some. Every time they go to a GP, they get some, I think. But less and less people want to sell their duels is the problem. Dev Clock chiming in that there were some sweet matches. We just saw a pretty great one at the end of this 3rd round just now. True Name Nemesis mopping it up, though, as it's always seems to do. I've lost a lot of games to that card, and it's a pretty frustrating one to lose to. Let's see now. Let me reset some of this overlay. Change it to round 4. Setting up. We're probably going to try to get Bob on camera if possible, but I think Nick's going to go out there and pick a match. So highlights of the evening, we've seen Esper Worldgorger combo go 3-0, so he'll likely be splitting the finals with Tone the Foot, who just won on camera.
That was the worst brainstorm of all time, followed by the most lands I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was a pretty good ponder, though,
Yeah,
at
that
the
was
end.
insane. The second one?
Yeah, True Name and Jace.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it worked out.
It had to pay off eventually.
Right. That was Tony Zinni just walking through. Fresh off his round 3 win now. He's probably going to go on to split the finals with Kyle Norman. In all likelihood, at least. Katy Perry Cherry Tree chiming in the comments as always, like the troll that he is. Any other things going on here? People talking about waffles and raffles. What else? Ukabukalakatu holding down the fort while Mark is away here. We're waiting on giving away this Entomb for a few more minutes. It will be coming up. Everyone loves raffles. And remember, guys, if you like the raffles, be sure to follow MTG Card Market on Facebook. If you see them at events like GPs, where they often have booths, tell them that you like watching this stream, that you like the giveaways, and they can make better and better things happen. Maybe streaming on more nights of the week, maybe better giveaways. Also,
What's up?
What's up? This is Tony Zinni.
Tenderfoot.
We're giving away an Entomb later.
Ooh, hotness.
Pretty sweet, right?
I got one of those.
That was a pretty good Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
I liked when he swords your click.
Yeah, I thought about that. I tanked on it for a while because
Yeah.
he took my Stoneforge when
Yeah.
I had 2, so I'm obviously he had a sword in hand. So when I took
Right.
that click, I'm like, well, it's gonna get sword, and then I'll just take the 2 for 1.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
great.
get 3 cards.
That
out of
worked
his
out
hand.
real well.
Yeah.
I like the way you played that game.
We are ready.
Okay.
Ooh. I'll get out of your way.
Is it you and Kyle in the
Congrats
final?
on the win, Sean.
Yeah, thanks, man.
So, Tony, who you just got to hear from, is paired against Kyle in the final round, and they're deciding to draw and not play it out. So we have the next live match. We have a repeat of Jason on 5-color Doomsday, and he is playing against Alex Villano, who is playing Mono Blue Delver, which is
Seems like a tough
Fairies
matchup.
style deck.
Interesting.
Using Spell Stutter Sprite and all of the more interesting blue counter spells like Spell Snare, obviously Daze, probably Spell Pierce.
This seems like a matchup or a nightmare matchup for any combo deck.
Yes.
Frankly.
I think that he wants to play against combo decks all of the time.
Yeah. Never Death in Texas. So what are we calling it? Mono Blue Delver?
Yep.
Alex Villano.
So, looks
This
like
is
they're
one of the
on
newer
their- well on
players,
their way.
newer players to our scene. He's been around for a bit. I think most people know what he's playing by now, and he has his ideal start. I think for this matchup with a turn one
Delver.
Turn one, his best threat possible.
And Jason has 2 fetch lands and just passes, which is interesting against the Stifle deck.
Yeah,
Vapor Snag. That's not going to do much in this matchup,
you can always Vapor Snag a Lab Maniac.
but it does flip Delver, which is important.
Indeed.
Jason down to 17. Right off the bat.
Pretty great. This is a Ponder. What set is that island from? Might be one of the more interesting releases. Or it could just be like 5th.
Yeah, it could be 5th.
If anyone wants to weigh in on that, go for it. 5th edition, yep. Nailed
Solid.
it.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Casually nailed it. Another land and passing the turn back from Jason. So it seems like he's going to try to build up and have one huge turn with silence. Lovely.
Somebody just pointed out that Alex's deck resembles the commonly played, if the format were commonly played, Pauper deck.
Yeah.
That is Mono Blue Delver.
But in real life.
But this is real life.
Yeah.
This is
fetch.
Legacy. This is what we do. So Jason's saying I will sacrifice 3 points of life here to Thoughtseize you.
It's definitely a cost. Oh, also I think I missed an attack with this Delver. Sorry about that, everyone. So I think Jason's actually at 11. Pope in the comments chiming in that Merfolk is a great Legacy deck, monocolored.
So is D&T.
I'd see that Merfolk.
Someone wants to be your best friend.
Merfolk used to be a lot better. I played Merfolk for about 9 months. Then I switched to Death and Taxes because it's frankly just more powerful.
Ooh, Jason, Thoughtseize target himself.
Wow.
Oh, no. Vendilion Click. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
What?
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Nope, I was...
Where is that Thoughtseize living?
Checking the chat.
Is that the graveyard?
That Thoughtseize is on the stack.
Okay.
And in response, Vendilion Click was cast.
Ah, I see.
Vendilion Click targeted Jason, and his hand is now face up. We see a Mox Opal, a Gataxian Probe, a Lotus Petal, a Lion's Eye Diamond, and a Silence.
So not much action here.
Well, he has a lot of the enablers. He just needs the one...
He has the mana. He doesn't have a big
he needs the
spell.
reaction spell. He needs the spark to start the fire.
Right.
He has the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and the Lion's Eye Diamond is taken away.
Yeah, most
Giving
powerful
Jason
card.
a free card.
Now
Interesting.
Thoughtseize resolves,
Now
presumably?
Thoughtseize should resolve. Both the hands are on the table. And I assume that it'll be the counter spell that will be taken.
Yep. This is a very quick clock to be on, though. Jason's going to be dead in 2 more attacks.
Yep. He does not have a lot of time.
Nope. And he's in desperate need of a business spell.
So he passes the turn.
Alex's hand is quite soft, though, to what's currently going on. Because...
But will Jason be able to find it in time is the real question.
Yeah. One thing Alex could also consider doing out of, if it really comes to it, is he could Vapor Snag his own click.
And then recast it instant speed. Only losing a single life to do so. The fact that Alex also hasn't had to use any fetches because he's only playing a single color is important because it means that Jason has to storm for at least 1 more.
Right.
So he has to go for the full 10.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose storm count 9 with Tendrils Vagonate itself being the 10th.
Yep. And remember, everyone will be giving away a F&M...
Right after this game, it will be Waffle Time. We are giving away a DCI promo Entomb.
We're very close.
It is almost Waffle Time.
This game's looking pretty desperate for Jason.
Yep. If he hit an action spell here, he could...
Looking in his hand.
Yep, because he has 2 cards we don't know. I think one of them is a fetch land. Nope, it's a top.
Top.
He has Divining Top.
More air.
Divining Top can dig you into what you need, though.
Yeah, it can.
Especially with Gataxian Probe.
Looks like he's topping here.
Uh-huh.
And these Mox Opal.
Oop, there's Doomsday.
There's Doomsday.
He does not have... Oh, he does. With the...
He has Lotus Petal and...
Oh, he's...
Yeah.
1 short on the artifacts to get the Mox Opal up to play around the days that he knows Alex has in hand.
Ah. Well, I mean, he plays Lotus Petal, and he'll play the Mox Opal. Then the Opal will be on.
No, it won't.
Yeah, well,
there's only 2
there's
artifacts.
Top in play. And
oh,
Lotus
with the
Petal.
Lotus Petal he can turn it on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, I missed that.
So he plays these 2.
Thank you. Boom, boom. So storm count is 3.
Yep. Can he silence? Can he afford to?
I don't think he can because he has to play around days.
He's activating top.
Is he activating top to draw Doomsday? Which means he's not trying to pay the 2 life. Oh, he needs the 2 life for his Doomsday pile.
Is he not floating with Mox Opal? I think he's gonna make the play.
Oh no, he might miss it. Oh, now he does not have Metalcraft.
Yeah.
And he just realized that he did that. So he's going down to...
Yeah, he needed to float mana with Mox Opal.
He needed to float mana. And that's one of the problems with playing these really complicated combo decks. There's so many things to try and remember. If you just let one little part slip, you can...
Everything
wind up
unravels.
punting the game, yeah. So if this Daze comes into... Oh, that does not tap for mana, Jason.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go call him.
Yeah. Womp womp. Yeah, he needed to do that before top left play. Yeah, he realizes he's missing 1. And he's gonna concede the game. Insta concede.
When I pointed that out, he throws his hands in the air and goes, up, let's go to game 2.
Yeah, I don't know if he had it
let
anyway.
slip.
Alright, raffle time. Everyone,
Right.
so people who have been doing it in the chat, the way that you enter it, enter the raffle, is going to be exclamation point raffle. I can get in here and chime in.
So it'll look like this.
So everyone, this is the way that you enter it. I just did it under the WUBRGxyz. I haven't started the raffle just yet, so everyone who's already doing it, you're gonna have to do it again.
Yep,
but
it
now
hasn't started yet.
everyone
But
gets
now,
the idea.
now you get to see. That's exactly what it looks like.
Oh my
Good
God.
practice run,
You're doing
guys.
great jobs.
Good
it's still not
practice
open
run.
yet, guys. Now I'm trolling you. All right, I'm gonna open it. All right. Just started it. Moobot shows you.
All right. Go ahead, enter exclamation mark raffle,
Yep.
and it's gonna roll for as long as we decide.
Everyone, you also have to make sure that you are following WUBRGxyz on Twitch.
You cannot win this unless you are following us on Twitch.
Yes.
So hit that little, I believe it's a purple button that says follow in it.
Yep. Gotta follow. And everyone who's a new follower, thank you very much for subscribing.
It means a
Or
lot
following,
to us.
rather.
So
Yes. The test raffle was for F&M and Tomb. Just kidding.
yep. So everyone that tried in the test raffle, you won an F&M Entomb.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it doesn't exist, so pat yourself on the back.
Yep. Thank you, everyone who's a new follower here. It's really
Thank
great.
you so much to all you guys. We see a bunch jumping in.
Thy Shepherd, IDK, Stacks80.
We
Thank you all.
appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
This raffle's still open.
Gonna keep it
rolling,
open
keep
for
it
another
rolling.
few seconds.
Yep. Not
Remember,
too long,
it's
not
a
too
raffle
long.
for a DCI foil Entomb. Be
Thanks
sure you're
to-
following.
Thanks to MTG Card Market. They're great. We've already said that a billion times,
Yep.
but you know we mean it.
Approximately
So,
1 billion.
go on Facebook, like us, like
Yep.
them. Tell them how much you like us.
Kentriarch, thank you for the follow. Katy Perry Cherry Tree, thank you for entering multiple times.
Go ahead and comment on our page how much you like Greg's hat.
Yep.
It's great. Yes, exclamation mark waffle will not quite get you in, but
Yep. Good job, guys. You all follow directions very well. Yes, also remember not to unfollow right after the raffle because that will disqualify you.
it will.
Just kidding. We won't check that. What else?
We totally will, and you should just follow us
Yeah,
for...
we have Katy Perry Cherry Tree doing our vetting. All right, I think I should maybe draw. Does
And
that make sense? Should I draw?
here we go. We're closing the raffle.
All right, I'm gonna count down. I'm gonna do 5,
4,
3,
2,
1.
Go!
I'm gonna draw.
drawing.
All right, we have a winner. It is Pebcac TV.
PEBKATCTV. You
Yep.
are the winner.
You got it, and you are following, so it sounds great. I'm gonna announce as winner in chat.
So thank you so much for everyone who has tuned in.
All right, thank all of you guys. Congratulations, Peb. We're gonna send you a message on Twitch, and we're gonna have Mark McManus.
Ship out your cards to you.
Yeah, he's gonna be the guy going at it for that. And congratulations. And we have.
Alright, so now we
yeah.
move back to our match here.
Cool. Boy, I'm gonna have you call it for a minute because
Alright.
I've got a message, Peb.
Well, it's pretty easy right now. We'll get these life totals and reset in just a second once we send one message real quick. Players deciding whether or not to mulligan. Jason has Xantan Swarm, but his hand is Landlight. He still decides to fire off Xantan Swarm on turn 1. For those of you that don't know Xantan Swarm, it is an 0/1 insect that says whenever this creature attacks, your opponents cannot cast spells for the rest of the turn. It's a pretty typical Storm hate card for counter magic, which is what Alex's deck is just packed full of. So Solid turn 1 from Jason. It looks like he has a couple other lands, a Burning Wish and cantrips. Nope, one other land, multiple Brainstorms, a Ponder, and a Burning Wish. Draw from Alex for the Ponder, he passes back. Jason's draw for the turn is a Divining Top. Gotta love it. In with the Xanted Swarm. No spells can be cast by you. Brainstorm. Pulls aside 3, puts him in his hand. Lotus Petal, Brainstorm, Silence.
Sorry about the life totals. Where are we at?
Jason is at 19.
Okay.
And Alex is at, I believe, 20.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Jeez. Katy Perry telling us that entering the raffle with 3 accounts. Great. It's a great thing to do.
Whoever was keeping track of cheater count, you can add Katy Perry to it.
Yeah.
So cheater count is now at 2.
Also, Kasale Pride Mage, not the best. Not the best. Sorry, WUBRG, or sorry, people in the chat. I did not start the round timer because I'm an idiot.
I'll peek it. Hold on, I can see it.
Okay. We're gonna reset that in a moment. So there's a
35 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay, 35 minutes. I'll get that started. Thank you guys for calling that out.
Well, it was 35 and 15, whatever.
It's fine.
There's like almost a minute more.
We
than
don't
this,
run
but
an exact.
Yeah. Especially when we switch the matches, it gets messed up because there's a time extension.
Inkmoth says that it's his bedtime, so have a very good night.
Night,
I know
night,
you were
Inkmoth.
in the chat for most of the night. So.
You may return to being only a land and no longer a creature.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
Rest in peace.
And I'm gonna put Null Rod on camera. It's a pretty cool thing that Mono Blue Delver gets to play, not playing artifacts itself.
I hate that card.
Yeah, me too. It's so good against me.
It's good against me too. It's also surprisingly good against Jason as it turns off all of his artifact mana and his Divining Top.
Yeah, and you know how much he loves Top.
Brutal.
I mean, he can still... I guess Top is so integral for making Doomsday piles, but like...
Yeah, I don't know if Jason is playing the, what is it? The Unearth, Lab Maniac.
Not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember all the cards for that pile, but there is a pile that you use. I think Ideas Unbound and Unearth.
Yeah, basically everything involves Ideas Unbound.
And Probe, so
Okay.
that you can unearth your Lab Maniac,
Sure.
and then. Oh man, I don't
Who even knows?
Doomsday is a complicated deck.
Yep. There's
I
a
am
reason everyone says that.
Certainly not an expert.
Yeah.
Jason is much better at it than I am, but even he wound up making a mistake last game. So
I'm gonna eat some of this pizza
right now, well, you have to talk.
right now.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it.
I'm gonna do something. No, I'm not.
I'm gonna eat
Burning
it
Wish
later.
again.
Okay. Multiple Burning Wishes here. We see Katy Perry Cherry Tree asking...
Hits the Void Snare. There we go. That's a brand new-ish card that only these Wish decks were excited about.
Yep.
Even people were like, I won't even play this in Limited. But all of the Legacy and Vintage players that like Burning Wish, playing Storm, were like, I need foils right now!
Yep.
It is a 1 blue sorcery that says bounce target non-land permanent.
That's all. That's it.
That's what it does.
That card had not existed previously.
Somehow.
Yes.
Ooh, gut shot on the Xanted Swarm.
Oh, that's so good.
Down to 18 for Alex.
Still no clock, though. Yeah.
Whew. Yeah,
Still
he's
without
missing
a
a
clock.
threat, so Jason has plenty of time here.
Right.
But his counter spells are turned back on now.
Mm-hmm.
So, crazy.
My mouth is going to be full of this pizza right now, so everyone has that to look forward to.
Mostly you. You are the sole benefactor of that.
No.
But Jason casts Ponder here. Does that resolve?
That gut shot was insane.
Yeah, it was very good. You see, he sees Doomsday and Dark Ritual. It's almost game time. Oh, he shuffles it. Doesn't want it. Never mind, not game time. Doesn't want the Dark Rate.
What does he need?
I don't know.
Mana?
How does this deck work? I have no idea. I thought just casting Doomsday would typically get it for you, but
Yeah.
nope.
What are the Doomsday and the Void Snare doing there?
Those are in his hand from Burning Wish.
Oh, I see.
I think what he wants right now is protection. I think he wants a Thoughtseize.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, his opponent just sitting there with
2 mana,
Island.
like 7 cards in hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know he's only got gas. He's not playing that many 3s.
He could have like a Snapcaster end of turn to get a clock into play or something.
We could.
Nope, just
Nope.
draw step.
Ooh, I would love to see the old Snapcaster target Gut Shot. Pay more life for Gut Shot. Get you got. Brainstorm. Alex is in on these white border cards, man. White border brainstorms, white border lands.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough. That is a choice that he has made.
Let's see now. Can he find a clock? Do you think Jason is just saving the Void Snare for the Null Rod on the critical
Yep,
turn?
on the turn that's going to matter.
Makes sense. This is a probe being cast for life, it looks like.
Yep, down to 15. So he's not being pressured, he just wants to know what's up.
Yeah.
Days, days, days. Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, Snapcaster Mage Counterspell. Incredible.
So
I don't know how Jason beats that. He needs a Silence or a Zenith
he really needs
Swarm
that
here.
bad Swarm back.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That Gut Shot was the nut.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Whew.
God, that's rough. I feel bad for Jason. What does Thoughtseize even take?
I don't know. It might take this counterspell? I don't know. I have no idea.
Probably, right?
Yeah.
I think it's
Counterspell,
resolving.
Spell Pierce.
I don't know why it wouldn't resolve.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any one of those pieces. Maybe it's Snapcaster, so that he still can't kill you.
Yeah. If I were Alex, I think you just put Snapcaster into
Put
play
it
end
into
of
play
turn.
and target Gut Shot, probably.
Yeah.
Possibly Brainstorm, but I doubt it.
So I think you might be taking actual counterspell, actually.
The white border counterspell there.
Yeah. Respecting the old school,
Ugh.
taking the counterspell with the discard spell.
Yeah, the 1 of 5 counterspells.
Right.
Well, sorry, it was 1 of 6. Now it's 1 of 5. But it was the actual.
You know, they're called counterspells for a reason.
Yeah, because they're played on a counter.
Yeah, there's also a card called Counterspell, and they're all sort of vague imitations of it.
I think it's because Magic was played in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're,
It's a
the
counter.
table is for eating.
Yeah.
The counter is for your card games.
It's a game
So-
based in and around counters.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've got your granite counters. You've got your. I don't even know.
Yep.
Counters. I don't know.
Attack for 2.
Composite. Beats me. But
Alright.
when you have an uneven one,
Mm-hmm.
you certainly don't have counterbalance.
Right.
So,
Definitely had to fit that one in.
yeah. I mean, being a countertop player.
Yeah.
Yep, we got marble, we got wood. Thank you. Thank you for the suggestions. Keep them coming. Talk about counters. We
Lots
love
of
it.
counters.
So many counters. Oh, there's the +1/+1.
Yeah.
Those also are counters.
What can Jason find?
I believe one of the characters on Sesame Street was a counter.
Probably.
The vampire counted definitely the Count.
He's definitely a count.
Different kind.
Aha. I think Pope probably has the right life totals, and I do not. Is he at 10? How many times? He's fetched 1, 2, 3.
Okay, here's Void Snare targeting Null Rod, and that will eat Spell Pierce most likely. Boop. Floats a mana. Ooh, goes for the Dark Writ to pay for it. Oh, gets dazed. Why did he not think of that? Why did he not? Oh, poor Jason.
Just trying to fight through it all.
Poor Jason.
Doomsday still on the stack? Nope.
No, Doomsday's still in his hand.
Okay. Nice try, though.
It's hard to beat the old triple daze draw.
Attack.
Oh,
Oh!
ninjutsu! No one sees the ninja coming! You want to pull up Ninja the Deep Hours
Yeah.
for those who have not had to play against Kyle Norman in the past?
If you search Ninja, it's the only card that comes up. Oh boy.
Yeah. Ninjutsu is an interesting mechanic, to say the least.
And now he has Snapcaster Counterspell if he draws a 4th land. Because his 4th land will also be an island.
Rough.
Yep.
Jason is
pretty
up
rough.
against it here.
Do you think Alex is playing Force of Will?
I don't know. Probably. I would if I were playing this deck.
Right. This is like what Ninja Bear Delver wishes it was.
Yep.
Alright, this is a Dark Rip. Very pretty, I believe, Chinese Dark Rit.
Yeah, Jason is a collector of traditional Chinese magic cards. So,
Being a speaker of Chinese himself.
I don't think that he is.
Really?
Yeah, I think he just has Chinese heritage, and that. Well, I mean, he has told me in the past that this is the truth. That he actually just collects them because I don't know, his family is Chinese, and he likes the
Fair enough.
traditional Chinese cards.
Alright, that was a lot of days.
Those dazes get paid for. He says, "Fine, you can have a Dark Rit. You
Dark
just
Rit
actually
resolves.
paid 3 mana to have Dark Ritual." So now Doomsday happens.
Doomsday resolves. We still... I think Alex still has, what, Spell Snare?
I believe so.
So Ideas Unbound is a
Alex
liability.
says, "Can I read Doomsday?" Jason goes through his deck to find a different one instead of just pushing the one on the stack. Oh, because the one on the stack is traditional Chinese. Duh.
Doomsday is rounded up or rounded down?
Rounded. I think it can kill you. So whichever way it needs to round.
Rounded up.
Yeah.
Cannot kill you.
Okay. No, you lose half your life rounded up.
Oh.
So it can kill you.
So he's going to 4.
He's going to 4.
Interesting.
Let's see if he can pull this off.
Is down up? Up and down are kind of like vague terms there. Like, rounding up means you're going lower. Very weird.
So, okay, Jason confidently... Oh, never mind. Unconfidently. He was confident. He's not so confident. Now he's kind of confident. Sets it down. Exiles the rest of his cards, including that Doomsday.
Right.
Well, no, maybe not. He forgot there's a Doomsday to the side. Oh, and he says go. This is one of those I'll get you next turn piles.
Yeah. Well, he can't Ideas Unbound because he knows about, I believe, Spell Snare.
Ooh. Yep. See if he remembers to play around it.
I think that's still in his hand, right? I
Put him
don't
to
think
2.
we've seen it.
Put him to 2. Alex is drawing a bunch of cards off this ninja. Okay, so he has Void Snare. Void Snare the Null Rod. That's step 1. 2 mana. Spell Stutter Sprite.
Ugh.
X is 1.
That's a kick in the nads.
Oh, yep. There it is. He just tosses it on the table. I'm done. I don't want to play.
Yep. Can't beat this.
Got nothing. All right.
That was horrifying.
That goes to Alex in 2.
If anyone ever wants to play combo,
Don't play against Blue Delver.
try to forget this match.
Just play Elves.
Yeah. Spell Stutter Sprite, locking that one up. I think that has to be Jason's worst possible matchup. Just the all counter spell deck. All right, so Nick's out in the field looking to see if we can get one last match on camera before we wrap up the stream for the night. We've already given away our promo Entomb. I'm going to also maybe spoil a future giveaway. I'm going to bring it back to the booth momentarily just to show you guys. So Card Market also gave us this snazzy little card. If you can't see, it's a Japanese time spiral. I'm going to bring it back down to the table now. So that will be one of our future giveaways. Probably the next one that we have Legacy during. So if you guys liked the Entomb, I hope you liked the time spiral even more. And again, sorry that I am eating pizza right now, but I didn't get to have dinner today. So I'm having it now. Alright. And what's going on in chat here? Heartless Jetsugu is being referenced. Not too much else going on. Just Katy Perry running train. I'm gonna reset some of the overlay. I presume that Jason can in fact read that time spiral. I can't understand why he couldn't, but who knows. Yep, Dev Clock is right. Next giveaway is Japanese time spiral. Geodux makes the good point that you probably don't want to shortcut the word Japanese quite that way. Bring it back to the booth one more time. This is our giveaway. Maybe I should take the price tag off, but we're not selling it, we're giving it away. So kudos. Bring it back down to the table. Katy Perry is correct. It wouldn't make sense for him not to be able to read that. It's reading. All done for the night?
Everybody's into their final game.
Alright. I'm gonna finish chewing and bring it back to the booth. Nick just Nick went out on the field. Couldn't find another.
There are only 2 matches left, and they're both in their game 3. So our winners for tonight were, depending on how things break down, Esper Worldgorger combo and Esper Stoneblade.
Yeah, they split the final.
Yep, and then Mono Blue Delver and
the other 3-1 deck. Did we see anything?
I don't know. I don't
we
know
didn't
what it
see
was.
it this round. It could have been the 4-color top deck, maybe.
The 4-color top deck is still playing. It could also have been
we're not quite sure what
Ryan Wagner on Miracles.
Oh, sure.
I think. Yeah, he's playing against Andrew Bowman, who is on lands. And so I think that he will be the other 3-1 deck for the night.
Let's see.
So he will take 3rd or 4th, depending, again, on how breakers
Yeah. There's a lot of blue.
shake down.
I'm not a fan. A lot of blue.
I'm a huge fan. I love Deathblade. I love Miracles.
Yeah. I gotta start playing more.
I do not love anything Greg likes to play.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna
At least
Mangar
in
you
Legacy.
next Tuesday.
at least in Legacy. Tuesday?
Next Tuesday. I'm gonna Mangar you.
Why are we playing Tuesday?
That's the point. I'm gonna send you to next Tuesday.
Oh, whoa.
Did I punt anywhere?
No, that's a
well,
horrible
you're-
matchup.
You're not activating Mox Opal.
Well, I would have lost that game anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can't beat the days there.
Sure. I thought maybe if you used the mana from Mox Opal, you'd be able to have the 1 extra for Doomsday.
Days.
Yeah.
No, I
both
was-
days.
Because
I
you had to
would've-
Doomsday and still have mana for ideas.
If I could have survived that 1 turn,
Yeah.
then I had enough mana because I had to play 1 mana for top, 1 mana to search. And that
Yeah.
was totally messed everything up.
It's rough. It doesn't feel like a good matchup.
It's
It was
horrific.
close,
He has like
His
30.
second hand,
Yes.
We saw.
We felt
days.
quite bad for you.
he told me he ripped the gut shot for the Xanten.
The
was
gut
probably
shot
the
was
best card.
gross.
I was going to win that turn.
Yeah.
So.
Oof.
Sorry, Jason.
Tough breaks. Sorry, Jason.
Everyone in the chat loved you.
Thanks. Slightly makes me feel better.
Yeah, not that much, but it's something.
Let's see. Hatchback Honda. The only shardless we saw tonight was in a 4-color value top deck.
Yeah.
He
Katy
was
Perry
playing- He's playing
I
Shardless.
hope you have a terrible night's sleep.
And Shardless and Ancestral, but he was also playing Countertop and Terminus and Monastery Mentor.
It wasn't exactly stock.
No, it's certainly a Jason Chico brew.
Something more approximating a vintage brew.
Something, yeah. Something
Where
a vintage
apparently
player
Monastery
would-
Mentor is really good.
He seems like he would be.
When you have, you know, a bunch of Moxen and shit.
Yeah. Crack Lotus, cast Mentor. Play 3 Moxes. I now have 3 dudes.
Time Walk.
Time walk. Time walk.
Oh boy, yeah.
Bounce my Moxes to my hand using, I forget what that is.
Yeah. Crimson, I'm sorry to say that we can't sell cards that were given to us to raffle off, so can't sell it to you and say that you won. We can call you out as a good fan though, because you're always in the chat. But yeah.
All
So
right,
I guess it's time to wrap up.
Yep.
So this is coming to you for WUBRGxyz. We're today at MTG Card Market. These are their sleeves.
We have their banner up on the...
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope,
This
other way.
way? That way.
There.
Like Greg said, yeah. Right there.
Right there. We gave away this tonight. These are their sleeves. You'll see them at tournaments. See them
Yep.
at the GP this
They'll be
weekend
in,
if you're going.
Memphis, which is not Tennessee.
It's not.
Or it is Tennessee, it's not Nashville.
You almost didn't screw it up.
I almost didn't screw it up that
Yeah,
time.
It's very close.
So
The next time we'll be streaming is Monday from Dice Dojo in Chicago as well.
Yep.
That will be for Legacy as well. We also stream on Wednesdays from Card Market for Modern. And those are the nights we stream so far. We might look into doing Fridays for Legacy as well. It's a lot to take on from a commentary perspective.
I don't think that Friday Legacy is going to be happening much longer.
Okay.
So we'll see how long.
We'll see how things shake out.
I think that tomorrow might be the last day they do it.
We've also talked about trying to get standard, but there's a lot of streams that offer standard, so we're offering
We only
a
have
bit.
so many commentaries.
Yeah, we're also offering a slightly more unique product, doing mostly Legacy. So
Yep.
there's that. But thank you guys very much for sticking around for the whole night. Thank you for entering the raffle.
Thank you to all our new followers.
Yes, thank you for following. If you haven't followed yet and you like the stream, just hit the purple button, I believe it is, on
Purple,
Twitch.
it says follow.
Yep. And we're also on Facebook.
I think it's right, like there.
You're really good at the
somewhere.
directional
Like right
thing.
here, I
Yeah.
think.
Right there.
Click right there.
Perfect.
Right there.
Right there. It's just in
Yeah.
Nick's crotch.
Yeah.
Well, that's irrelevant.
Yep.
But
All
and
right.
if you guys find us on Facebook, give us a shout out.
Geodux asks when will Ryan be doing commentary again? I think there's multiple Ryans who've done commentary. I believe he's referring to
Yeah.
Ryan Zay.
Ryan Bogner or Ryan Zay?
Zay or Za? I don't know. But
Soon we
probably
hope.
soon.
Hey!
Yeah. Usually when we put out the Facebook updates about the stream about to go live, we'll also say who's commentating, which I forgot to do tonight. I just thought of it. Screw me. I'm terrible at this. Sorry, everyone.
Oh gosh.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna go home.
Could have just kept that one under your hat.
All right. Thank you for that.
All right.
Bye, guys.